he's going to be on later. Let me get to the Striker stuff. Did you see this, Dingo? I told this to Chief and a couple others. I just saw it right before, well, while we were coming on air, and they didn't seem to be that surprised about it. I was surprised because I didn't know this was a possibility. Eric Striker, of course, with TRS, the rightstuff.biz, Mike Enoch, and all those guys, National Justice Party, was with those people, because this just crossed the wire right while I was starting up the show. And this is I guess this is his message here. There's long been tension between my vision when co-founding NJP and the party's reorganization by Mike and Tony in the last year. After many good faith attempts by all parties to work these differences out, we have come to the conclusion that our perspectives are sadly irreconcilable. I will be leaving NJP. Strike and Mike has also been canceled, which was maybe even more noteworthy. I want to stress that I do not hold any rancor or grudges against these men who I've worked with and been friends with for many years. I feel great love and respect for the members of TRS and NJP who I've had the honor of standing shoulder to shoulder with. I want to stress that I have not changed or surrendered. I remain as committed to the mission to save our race and civilization as ever. And then it says thank you, and I assume it says his name, Eric Striker, or something underneath that. But I don't know the background of this. Southern Dingo says, just saw it, no idea what happened, to be honest. The Yankees don't really talk to me except Sven. Me and Sven are cool. Love Sven. Yeah, I got some kicks out of watching some Sven clips a couple months ago. And he was right. What was he right about again? Oh, the way the show had kind of devolved a little bit over there on Cozy. Yeah, I don't know the background to this either. I mean, it doesn't seem like... I mean, obviously there's some kind of Discord going on, which he says. But it doesn't seem like he tossed the match on the bridge on the way out. So I don't really know anything other than this message right here, and I guess we'll see. You know, I'm sure there'll be some, as usually is the case in these type of situations, there may be some leaks, or this is what really happened, or this or that, but we'll see if any of that comes out during the show. Sock Puppeteer says, what was the sticking point? I don't know. And like I said, maybe some others know more about the frustration. Like, I just know, you know, surface level stuff. Like, I'm not in it as far as following TRS every day and all that stuff. So I don't really know what the dispute was, or like what's the difference between his vision and theirs. If he had a different like activism mindset or what. Let me see here. Now, this is from somebody else. This is not me, but it said NJP after Conti is falling apart. Everything Greg Johnson said was hard facts. He was on here, and I think we talked about it then. Yeah, it's my understanding that Striker's pretty popular within their group, and Strike and Mike, you know, I hear people talking about it. I've seen a couple clips here and there, so I don't think that's good for them, but all right, go back to NJP. You hate to see it. I figured you would. Of course, I wasn't rooting for it either. You know, I haven't. I did say some things, I guess you could say last year, but I don't really have anything against those people, and some of that stuff is unfortunate, but I wasn't rooting for it, and it kind of just took me by surprise. A-Hole Anderson said it in chat before the show started. I was like, "Are you like, did this actually happen?" And yeah, it did. So I was kind of taken aback.
Yeah, same here. I really, I'm just thinking, like, what was it? What I really want to know, what was it? And like we both agreed earlier, it's probably best they don't make it public. But yeah. I would like to know, just because I'm so curious about it. What could it be, man? Like, what could it, like, if you had to just list some things, what could it possibly be?
Well, so I'll read this part again. Let me see. I think I have it pulled up. Let me see. So there's long been tension between my vision when co-founding NJP and the party's reorganization by Mike and Tony in the last year. After many good faith attempts by all parties to work these differences out, we've come to the conclusion that our perspectives are sadly irreconcilable. Now, that's a very, it reads like a political press release or something like that.
But it's
But
professional, you know.
yeah, it's above board. He doesn't take any shots. He goes out of his way to say they're still cool and stuff later. But and again, I'm not trying to throw shade or whatever. Traditionally, there probably is some. Raimi even says it. Like there's disagreements enough where you're leaving the party and canceling your show that's fairly popular. So there must be something going on there. No, maybe it doesn't. Right? Like I mean, there's something pretty. There's some kind of pretty serious, disagreement there. Now maybe it's not like, I want this guy to lose completely or anything like that. But it seems like it was fairly serious. And yeah, I agreed with you that. I could see why they didn't make it public, and that might end up splitting things. But you said it yourself. Once something like this comes out, the natural instinct is everybody wants to know, right? And so that's why I assume there will probably be more discussion, maybe some, leaks about who was thinking this or that or said that. But I've been around for a while, and that's usually what happens next, Dingo. But we'll see.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, if it's me. If I want to part ways with somebody, like I feel like I can't work for the betterment of my own people with that person, it's probably like I probably hate them now. You know what I mean? It takes that for me to fucking part ways over something so important. So I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what situation even exists that you could disagree on so much that you're like, okay, let's part ways and not work together for the literal survival of our race, but we can still be cool. Like, what? That's a thing?
Yeah.
If it's me, I'm going to be like, this piece of shit did this, and this. Like, if it was me,
Well, me and you are kind of similar. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if it's to that level, like, I'm probably, it's probably fuck this guy, right? At that point.
And if it's not at that level, it's like, well, then work it out. Be adults.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think it may be not at that level, but it's probably just right below. I mean, I'd have to assume there was some kind of pretty serious disagreement there, or something was said, or people didn't react how he wanted to something or something. I don't know. I can't say. It's all speculation. But and I see Chief of Staff sending me this. He said it's not a popular show. It's their main paywall show. It's why people sign up to TRS. Losing Striker is huge. He said. Yeah, I mean, I don't follow them day to day, but it was my understanding that it was pretty much their most popular show now after FTN. It used to be called something else. I don't think they do that anymore. So, yeah, it was my understanding it was their top show. And then he said this also. I don't even know what he means by this, but he said, ask Dingo about the Greg Conti stuff from earlier this year, maybe. And I don't know
Greg Conti is a fucking retard. Greg Conti's stupid. I don't believe anything Greg Conti said. Like, anybody who's being dead honest with themselves, all they have to do is look into his claims about like the moving crypto and this and that. It was all a bunch of lies. And then very shortly after the lies were spoken by that retard, they posted counter, like the proof. They posted the truth. They what am I trying to say? They posted like the counter to his
counter
claims,
evidence.
I guess.
Yeah, counter evidence.
Yeah, okay, yeah. They proved him wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, counter. They proved him wrong within minutes. People still try to throw that in my face, like, you're just retarded. He's retarded. Where is he at now? Is he trying to help anybody now? No, he's not, is he? Like, he got mad because he couldn't fucking take a bunch of money like he wanted to. And he's gone now. And he's like, well, if I can't get paid, then fuck y'all. That's obviously what happened. You hadn't heard shit from him since. I don't see Greg Conti trying to help a bunch of people sacrificing shit for anybody. Greg Conti's a fucking faggot.
Now, well, first off, what happened there? Second off, we got a 10 spot on Entropy, and yes, you can use Entropy, killstream.live/Entropy, and I'm going to start, I was thinking about this yesterday, I need to start, like, actually firing up the streams over there. Some people like using Entropy, and if you have your stream going over there, it'll pop up on their page and stuff. So we did get an entropy contribution, so I appreciate that. And a video was sent, and I'll play that in a second, or grab it from the attachment. What happened with Conti though? Like, I don't know everything that happened. I just know that he used to be with them, and now he's not, apparently, because Chief of Staff was like, well, things were going good until he left, I think is basically what he was trying to imply. But you don't agree with that?
I don't know the particulars of what he got mad about in the first place. You know, I have no idea, to be honest. But what I do know is that what he said was like they were stealing money, and he tried to show a transaction from like an account to a. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. He tried to show a transaction from a central exchange for crypto, like Coinbase, or I think it was Kraken, to a bank account or something like that. He tried to show that as evidence of them stealing money. It was literally just them moving money from crypto they had invested or something like that into an account that was for the NJP. And it was, I don't know what it was for. I can't remember, but I mean, this was like almost a year ago, I think. But like whatever it was, they showed all their bank transactions for the money. They literally accounted for every single dollar, and nobody had a fucking complaint for where the money went because it was not nefarious. And I mean, that's why, you know, at the end of the day, like I always stick with those guys because like their motives to me are extremely clear, that they want the best for white people. Just like even with, you know, Mike and Stryker parting ways or whatever, they're not telling people what the deal was. Like they're both very cordial. Why would they be cordial? It's because they don't want to divide white people, you know, and they know that this is something that could, and they're handling it the best way they can, I guess. And so like I appreciate their motives. That's why I like them so much. Greg Conti is a fucking retard, and I'd kick him in the fucking dick if
No,
I
wait, don't. Somebody said I should get him on. He's podcasting. Well, you know what? I should. I'm not against that. We maybe won't have Dingo here if we, if we do that. But I don't, like I said, I don't know like what all's going on there. So somebody link his Twitter. I don't have it. If he has a Twitter, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But I could look into that. We're having Curtis Yarvin on in a couple hours, about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Scheduled to have him on the program. Not a Conti fan. Dingo joining us, talking about Eric Stryker resigning from the NJP and also quitting Strike and Mike. I don't know if Mike Enoch has said anything at this point. Dingo, I guess I could check his Telegram. I actually didn't have.
I read the thing on his Telegram, and it sounded a lot like Stryker's, to be honest. Just a generic message, exactly like Stryker's. But I don't know. I mean, the reason that I stick with them so much and like them is, like I said, about their motives. But like there needs to be a home base for white people. There absolutely does. And to me, in my head, that's what they are. Like, look at your chat. You have, your chat's full of Jews.
Now wait,
going,
what?
LOL, haha, NJP failed. Ha ha ha. White nationalism is not going anywhere anyways. Like, there's only two possibilities that somebody like that could be. One, a worthless, sweaty, greasy internet troll who just does this, right? Or a fucking Jew. Like, that's the only possibility. I'm going with Jew.
I don't think that there's some huge, I mean, I'm sure there are Jews in there, but I don't think that that's a huge demographic. There's no evidence of that. Curtis Yarvin's Jewish, actually. He's going to be on.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Ron Unz is Jewish as well. He's going to be on Thursday.
Damn, you got that motherfucker too?
Yeah, we got Ron Unz coming on Thursday. Coming back.
You're pulling some big names, big dog. Shit.
Yeah, man. You know, we're stepping it back up a little bit. And so yeah.
How the Ralph Amel got his groove back.
Well, that ain't the only way, but I won't go into that. But now. So where do you see things going? Well, first off, let me read Mike Enoch's message here. And like Dingo said, it's basically this. It's pretty much the same. But he says, parting ways. Well, it's a little bit different, I guess. Parting ways with Stryker is very sad, and I am sure comes as a shock to many of you. There's no rancor in this. We simply had reached an impasse. Sometimes these things happen, particularly with strong-willed and opinionated people. In the end, it's better to part as friends. I bear absolutely no ill will to Stryker. Strike and Mike was one of the best podcasts ever, and I'll miss it as much as you guys. I'll still be doing a Tuesday night live stream and show, so that much isn't changing. And then he said, thanks, Mike. So that was Mike Enoch's thoughts there. It was mostly the same, although I guess a little bit more feeling maybe in that. But it sounds like, I don't know whose decision it was, but if you're comparing the statements, Stryker sounds a little more strident, although it's still not, he doesn't trash anybody personally or anything like that. So, but what do you think they're going to replace him or?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
I don't
know. Like I wish that I did know more, and I wish that I was able to like get into the political scene more, but I've just had so little time. Like I've only been able to go hunting one time this year. You know what I mean? Like those little energetic devils that me and my wife made, they take up more time than I can really explain. You know what I'm saying? And so I just haven't had time to follow hardly anything, this included. So I don't know what they're going to do. What I do expect that that Stryker will continue to try to make things better for white people, unlike Greg Conti, that fucking faggot. But that's what I expect. I expect all parties involved to continue doing the best they can for their own people because they're all good guys. So
now this is again, wow, is this what all this is? So again, I don't know what's going on with TRS, but there's some stuff being posted on Telegram. Let's see. I don't know who McKevitz is, but I guess he's involved with TRS. Again, these are allegations. I don't know if they're true, but they're being posted. I guess this is from August. They said McKevitz did something to Carrie Gold. They used her for sex and then removed her from our chats to cover it up. I don't know what that is, but and again, this is anti-TRS outlet saying this stuff. NJP Central Committee member McKevitt and his wife used a contributor for a threesome band and tossed her out like a used napkin. He's NJP. Who would use a fan for something like that?
Yeah, that's how a threesome goes down when you're married. You throw the other bitch out. That sounds shocking to me.
That never happens. All right, now these NJP TRS white nationalists are degenerate. They said, of course, they're like I said, they're anti-TRS. Let's see. I guess this is what is it? Is this old stuff? I don't know. Oh, I guess he posted this. Is this today? He said, I had a threesome, which isn't adultery. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, Rob.
That's an open question. But with this girl who
was if the wife is down for it, is it really adultery? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a fair point, actually, but I never thought of it that way. But had a threesome with this girl who we were friends with prior.
I mean, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. It's not a good idea, I'll say. But with this girl who we were friends with prior to her joining Evergreen. I don't know what Evergreen is, but I guess it's something affiliated. But we remain friends, and her and Allison talk often. Any accusation of adultery is dishonest and false. I'm not going to debate with people how they feel morally about it, especially on an internet forum. I haven't said anything because Mike Enoch, I guess, asked me not to, and that was made with the promise that nobody would talk about me, and that hasn't happened. There was no announcement because the entire thing was deceitful and underhanded, and keeping that secret was more important than shit-talking me. Now people are taking the lies Tony crafted and running with them. I don't know what that means, but I told Mike and Tony about it to discredit an accusation of adultery, and Tony took this and turned it into things about drug abuse, adultery, grooming gangs, etc. Everyone, including Mike, disagreed with Tony wanting me out of the party. He put it to a vote. It was the only one who voted to remove me. He then threw a temper tantrum and rage quit the call. The next day, he threatened to ruin the September event and lock all social media and banking unless I was removed from the party. So I stepped down when Mike asked. Myself, Stryker, and Greg, I guess that's Greg Conti, all shared criticisms of how the party was being run and how information was kept on so tight a leash that the founders didn't know what was going on in their own organization. Tony keeps people out of the functioning of the party unless he has power over them. Now Tony has successfully pushed Stryker into resigning, and on the very same day, we see brand new accounts spreading things that TRS denied for years. Let's see. And I guess this is Sven.
Not very specific.
No,
is this all about Mike having threesomes with women?
No, not Mike.
I mean, I'm kind of
no, it's not Mike. It's some McKevitt. I don't know who that is really, but I guess he's a like a local leader, one of their local leaders, head NJP guy, one of the head or was. And then I told you guys this was gonna happen. By the way, I've just been around too long.
Yeah.
Put it on stream. I could do that, but I'd have to save the image and put it up. I mean, it's on Telegram. I'd have to save it separately and pull it. I mean, I guess I could.
Well, they've dodged a few scandals. I mean, their luck was kind of ran out.
Colonel J,
a while ago.
Trying to make me do my job better. Fine. I wouldn't take it off almost anybody else except Colonel J or Chief of Staff. Okay, you know what? Fine. Again, I don't know the veracity of all this, and I'm not even trying to go in on those guys or trying to do any of that, but I knew what was going to happen, and I didn't know it would necessarily be today, but I knew there would be a moment when we were sitting here talking about stuff just like, not necessarily just like this, but that there would be recriminations and leaks and stuff like that. Thank you, Kafer. Ethan nailed it on us Philly fans. Right. They know what they are. And again, I'm being, I'm talking shit, right? Like even some of the stuff I said about Buffalo, I'm just talking shit, right? Like, but Buffalo does suck in all honesty. But hopefully trying to be.
I stand by the Phillies fan comment. 100%. I never heard such fucking insane just filth come out of another human being than Philly fans.
That's
but
based.
People love you guys for it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, people love them for it, but that's what it is. I mean, it's just
that's
insane.
awesome, and they love that rep too. They love that.
Like you
rep.
definitely can't have
Dingo,
kids
I'll
with
let you on.
You can't have kids with you.
I'll let Dingo on. He said he wants on. Again,
right.
Dingo, I'm not trying to, this just was being said, and again, grain of salt, and definitely it's being put out by a critical outlet, but this is on their forum. And apparently Sven deleted the post, which probably not the best idea, but why did the thread lock and unlock? He said, I, for some reason, decided to delete the McKevitt post. Not sure why. I regret it. I was mostly disgusted by his attempts to make him banging an evergreen broad somehow Tony's fault, is what he said. Again, I don't know all these people.
Okay, now I've missed everything.
Go ahead.
Like, can I get a TLDR of what the post is?
Yeah, well, I'll just send it to you, Dingo, and you can read through it because I just.
Oh man, I don't want to read that shit.
I don't know who Michael McKevitt is.
He's one of the guys that helped found the NJP, I believe. He went by Potato Smasher a long time ago. He used to do Full House, that podcast.
Well, he was smashing some bitch.
I think I actually know who that is.
Yeah, well, he was smashing an evergreen woman. I don't know what evergreen is either.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well.
You don't know what that means either. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, Allison, I guess her name, and he had a threesome with her and his wife, and then there were allegations that he tried to blackball her or whatever. He says that's not true. He was forced out of the NJP. He said by Tony, who I don't really know who Tony is.
Tony Overter.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, well, he said he was forced out by him, and now he's claiming that.
Good call.
Well, I could see why that might be. I mean, look, I'm a fucking shit-talking shock jock talk show host, right? It's one thing for me to have a little bit of a eclectic personal life. It kind of is baked into the cake already, right? But if you're trying to lead a political party, I could see why they might want you to step down, Dingo.
K-Fur 420, he says, how much to bounce Dingo? K-Fur, send $100 right now and I will fucking leave. I guarantee you don't have it, but send $100 and I'm going to.
You're saying he doesn't have it?
He does not have it.
We'll see. Shout out to K-Fur, by the way.
He should drop it.
And he said check. He said check Cash App.
Yeah, check it. See if he sends you $100 and I'll take off.
Well, let me see here. Well, we'll monitor the situation. But thoughts, in case that does happen, thoughts on any of this? Again, I'm just speaking on what I saw here. He banged one of the TRS women in a threesome with his wife, which he claimed wasn't adultery, which I had not heard that.
Yeah.
Put for. I guess technically it's not if your wife's in on it. It's definitely not.
Yeah, but
advised.
it's degenerate. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. Like everybody knows that, even if you've done things like that. Everybody knows that that's. I think it's fair to classify that as degenerate. Yeah. And again, it's one thing if you're a personality. It's one thing if you're just podcasting.
Sure, and it's a bad idea.
But it's another thing if you're trying to lead men, basically, in a political movement. And I could see why some people say that's not something we want around. Yeah, for obvious reasons. So I don't blame TRS or Tony, who I don't know, for bouncing this guy, but he seems to think or say that Tony also pushed out Stryker, is what he tried to tie it to. He said, myself, Stryker, and Greg all shared criticisms of how the party was being run and how information was kept on so tight a leash. Now Tony has successfully pushed Stryker into resigning, and on the very same day, we see brand new accounts spreading things that TRS has denied. Wow. They deleted Stryker's post? Oh, shit. Breaking. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Basically, they all hate Stryker. That's what I'm being told. Okay, I did fix that. I like Ric Flair better anyway. I mean, that's one of my favorite people that's ever existed, actually. So let me upload this. Okay, I was just going to read some of the comments. Let's see. I'll upload it. Wow, that's crazy. They actually deleted his post. Why do they keep doing this? They're in bad shape, I have to say. It doesn't seem good for their operation. Okay, let me pull this up. This is Stryker. Post got deleted. Now, again, this is an anti-TRS outlet. Stryker giving his side of the story. Okay, I won't read all that, but man, what the fuck's with this small ass type? Fuck, I'm getting older. Like, make that shit bigger. Okay, I'll make it bigger. That's what I told her. Give me a second. It'll get bigger. Just give me a second. Here, do this. I'm on one today. I don't know. I really am on one today. Okay. I'm trying to resize this, but it's almost impossible. Duke
and Napalm sent $5. Thank you so much for getting rid of the coin ding. Aside from it being 10x louder than anything else, for some reason it really bothers my dog even on low volumes. Love the Woo 07.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And it was loud on my end too. But I guess I'm kind of used to it. But it's fine. Yeah, it's no big deal. Over 500 people watching us live across several different, about 600 people actually watching us live, because we got 70 people on the old channel. And I occasionally see haters stumbling in the old channel, and they're like, there's only 50 people here. There's only 60 people here. Well, you're on the wrong fucking channel, moron. So, yeah, 60. It literally is 600 people watching live right now. Picking up a little steam, huh? What happened? I thought it was over. I thought they had the Ralph and Mill buried. Oh, I've heard that one before. Anyway, let's see here. Not even 24 hours. Oh, wow. Okay. So this was deleted. This is from this afternoon. 2:52 p.m. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh no, God. Cog's brother chiming in again? Oh God. Oh, I'm actually really worried about that too, Cog's brother. You know what? Let me hear that. Oh. Oh. Michael Harrison checking in. Michael says, my brother Jonathan Harrison had sex with a 14-year-old girl. I am terrified of what he might do if given access to a child. What? Well, unfortunately, Michael, I have something. I didn't want to tell you this, but well, he has access to a child. And I hope that doesn't occur. But he does have access to a member of the youth there. We'll pray for her. Well, for surely he wouldn't dip in during the holiday. I don't know. It's a tragic thought. Let's see. Sven throwing Mike on the bus. Wait, what? This is not good. This is not good. What does that say? I can't even pull that up. What is happening? Why is so much shit happening right all at once?
Handsome Crayon sent $2 on Rumble. Morning, Ralph Amali. Hope you're having a good day.
I am. I'm having a fantastic day. And I hope you're having a good day too. Kitty cat. I'm not going to say that. That's funny though. See, I can't even see this because this fucking loser blocked me. Like, hard blocked me. I didn't even say anything about him because he's a fucking on some cult mentality. I never even had any problems with Kozer. Fucking retard. I'll pull it up on Knitter. What is that? He said new arc. That's being interpreted as siding with Nick. Kozer, Nick's right hand and Anglin's too. Yeah, I know he moves between both of those camps. All right, I'll look into his netter as well, and then we'll go back to Striker. New arc, hands clasped in prayer. Keep me up to speed on all this. Yeah, that means he's leaving one or the other and presumably Anglin. Let's see. Yeah, that's my presumption too. Okay, I'm getting intel live. By the way, I'll give you a little meta reveal here. Do you see me sometimes and I do this and you wonder what I'm doing? That's me taking one of my legs and putting it up on my chair. So half the time I'm sitting here, one leg is tucked in. I don't know, it's just how I sit. Like, not all the time, but sometimes I just have both legs down, but sometimes I'll put one leg. I don't know, it's a weird. I don't know if anybody else sits like that in a chair. It's another Ralphism. All right, enough about my chair habits. Now, but I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, I wonder if anybody even wonders why I'm doing that. Well, that's why. Hit like, for God's sake. Hit it now. If you haven't hit like, what are you doing with your life? Wait, did Ali Jamal say something? Oh, I want to hear that. Oh, somebody sent me. He put out an anime review or something. God, we might need to do that. Let's see. Okay. So this is Striker. He says this. Not even 24 hours after Mike and I made an agreement not to disparage each other, he breaks his word to me. He says, I will likely be banned, but I think my perspective, in as vague as details as possible, should be heard. He says, 1, I offered Mike and Tony a compromise where I would continue doing Strike and Mike and stay out of NJP business. They rejected my proposal on the grounds that the chemistry would be off without me in the party. I even warned them that this could harm TRS as a business multiple times during our last call. They confidently assured me that I was deluded and self-important, am easily replaceable, and people would quickly forget about me after some initial complaints. I just assumed they knew something I don't and shrugged. As for internal NJP stuff, Mike, Tony, and I all signed non-disclosure agreements. Really? Okay. I plan on keeping true to mine, but anybody who knows me and has seen other instances where I've left organizations that I felt were flying off the rails, and he names the Daily Stormer as it went into AMNAT incel phase and traditionalist worker party during the bizarre parrot era, knows that my perceptions and gut instincts are at a minimum grounded in reality. Tony and Mike do not think losing 3 founding members of the party in 6 months is grounds to be alarmed or speaks to dysfunction inside the party structure that require drastic action. I am not some infallible prophet. Maybe they are right and I am wrong. They are betting the house on me getting this one wrong. I don't want to be in antagonism with them because the NJP is my baby. I even warned them that this could harm... Oh, wait, he typed this twice. Okay, he posted that. It's a repost. He says, okay, wait, he just posted it. It's like doubled. Anyway, I don't know why that's the case, but it's like a repeat. But there is some new stuff at the bottom. He says, I gave the party its name. I wrote the entire platform. Many of my ideas on what our message should be were implemented. But in the last year, I have been largely shut out. Decisions are made in secret from me, largely because Mike, Tony, a few staff people, and a couple of donors find my input and general presence to be difficult or annoying. A small group of gossips and troublemakers are protected rather than punished. They are entitled to do what they want, and for that reason, we have parted ways. I hope we can have mutual respect in the future, and I wish the NJP and TRS well. Taking these fights public will make us all look bad in the end, and I seriously have zero patience for interpersonal drama. I want to move on, get back to politics, and innovating for our race. I do not feel entitled to anything. If I'm not wanted in one place, I will go elsewhere where I am wanted. And by the way, I called this yesterday because it was just too big of a break, and there was just no way this wasn't going to happen. And I said this when Dingo was here, and I know Dingo likes these guys, and you know, I'll be open. I could see how Stryker could be seen as very abrasive. Let's just put it that way. And really, my Discord with TRS, although I don't really consider it there now, it started because of Stryker. And he thought I had sandbagged him or somehow set him up during the Destiny debate, which is not what happened at all. He decided to go into jazz music and why it sucked and the history of jazz and all this. Well, again, you guys know that I mostly let the debaters kind of go at it, and I'll interject here and there or break it up when I need to, but it's not about the moderator. I read an article last night, and they said Chris Wallace had 25% of the speaking time during one of the debates, and it used to be about 5% in the 90s, how much the moderator took up during the debate. And that's unacceptable. The moderator shouldn't be talking 25% of the time during a fucking debate. It should be about the participants. Anyway, he thought I set him up because I didn't stop the jazz music conversation that he initiated. And started trying to freeze me out and all this shit as far as getting them on the show, etc. Which I thought was pathetic because I mean he obviously thought he lost, right? Like, or why else be mad? I don't know. It's just silly, really. But whatever. Seventh Son, who is Sven/Jesse on TRS, and he says full ignore on TDS today or no. And he says, I assume so. I will not be doing any sweeping, and I assume Mike will refuse my demands that he speak to the audience more openly about it. And that was interpreted by a staffer as in throwing Mike under the bus. I mean, I don't know. You can make your own decision on how that goes. But oh, by the way, Shoddy Respecter says they were sitting like that right now. Okay, good. Not the only one. Now let's see what their base is saying about it. And again, I thought this was going to be mostly what we covered as far as this goes, but then the striker stuff broke while I was getting ready to set this up. Now this is the rightstuff.biz, as you can see on your screen. It's not up yet. What the fuck? I'll have to prove I'm a human. Well, I'm trying. Okay, let's look at some of the comments. Captain Katie Cat says, I remember Mike hushing Sven at times when he'd mention Ralph's show. Yeah, that was just mentioned to me when this screen cap was sent about how he would do that. And like keep him from talking. And Sven clearly watches the Killstream. He might be watching right now. He was watching it when I was on Cozy. I don't have any problems with Sven. I don't even have any problems with Enoch. And I've tried to drop all that. I mean, I'm covering it because it's a story and this is the type of thing I cover. But it's not personal. I consider all that like whatever. I was kind of on one. Not that I didn't have reasons, but like, yeah, it's not personal. But yeah, Sven clearly keeps abreast of what's going on the Killstream fairly closely because I was surprised even myself. Kitty Cat says, I thought it was Mike who had a problem. Yeah, well, I went at him pretty hard. But they, I used to have them on the show all the time, Enoch and a lot of other people. But they kind of just, I would argue kind of like turned away from the platform because of, I don't know why. Had some controversies or whatever. But in my opinion, and I got some other people I could name on this score right now. People that I'm not going to, but people that I've platformed for years and years and years when they've had a checkered personal life themselves, checkered legal involvement, etc., all kinds of scandals, stuck by them, brought them on this show, and then they did a Worski. They turned this way like Worski did when he's trying to have that guy kill somebody for him. Just looked away. And I'm not going to get into it. But, yeah, it happens. So, I was a little miffed about that. I'm not going to lie. But, okay, let's read. This comment just came in, I think. Rocco on there says, can you see this? Yeah, you can. No Striker, no Jazz Hands, no more good content. You guys should have been able to reconcile with Striker, and I do not care who said and did what. I wish this was a bad joke. Oh, well, it's not a real party anyways. It's just a business to take our money and bait us into thinking NJP will affect change somehow. He said, hail Striker, hail Jazz Hands. I will not be resubscribing. Even Warren is... Okay. Even Warren is more money grubbing certain or another. I won't. Jesus. The people want Striker, but the leadership, quote unquote, full of contempt for the people, tell us we're stupid and don't know anything, and we actually want Tony. It's like the leadership forgot we aren't normie sheep that just accept that kind of bullshit. Also looks like they deleted one of my comments. Most of the comments are like this. Wowbagger, I know that name. I think that guy's watched this show. He may be watching now too. Pretty sure he super chatted to the show because those tend to stick out even more. And the ones who are in chat every day, too. I remember names. Wildbagger, I know for a fact that guy's super chat to the show. He says, this is a mess. Too many people have left with no explanation other than personality issues. Oh, after 109 exits, I'm skeptical it's those leaving whom are the issue. Relict says, I made a very similar comment and it was deleted. Guess it's because I named names. Somebody else says their comment was deleted too. Relict says, no striker, no sub. That's my red line. Hail striker. This one got downvoted with 7 downvotes. I know a lot of people are disappointed about striker, and that's understandable. Some of the people that are making snide comments don't understand what goes on behind the scenes and don't understand that sometimes tough decisions need to be made. And it is unreasonable to demand that everything be shared. This isn't a gossip club, and dirty laundry needn't be aired. As someone that knows, I think that's what they meant, what Mike goes through daily to lead NJP and our people, I know that he doesn't take his position lightly, and that the decisions that are made are for what is best for NJP/TRS. Just because Stryker is going his own direction doesn't mean you need to pick sides. In the end, we are all still friends, and we are marching toward the same goal. Well, it doesn't seem very friendly, I have to say. It doesn't seem like a very friendly situation. I could be wrong. Where's Dingo? Dingo, if you're listening, call in. We almost need you even more today. What is going on, Dingo? I told you this was going to happen. I've been around too long. Splits like this aren't allowed to go nicely. It just doesn't work like that. Because immediately people are like, why? What happened? What's going on?
Handsome. Adal Wolf sent $5 on Rumble. Off topic, but I hate it when I'm at work and I call someone and they don't answer.
Me too.
I've decided to leave them 1-second voicemails to fill up their inbox so they're screwed screening calls in the future.
That sounds like some petty shit I would do. That sounds like some petty shit I would do. Right, Tice says he'll DM him. All right, we'll see. 54% of the way there on the all-day fun. Like I said, if we hit the goal, we'll cover the Spencer Fuentes thing live on the show. I don't know what Spencer charges, but whatever. We'll do it. Powerchat.live/the Ralph Retort. Checkya.com/Killstream/pay me. Killstream.live/tip. $Sunset Squad over on Cash App. Rumble Rants is Ada Wolf just now used. Killstream.live/entropy. Hyperchats over on Odyssey. Shout out to Odyssey. Let's check in over there. What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Some of these are hilarious. Shout out to D Live. Okay. Let's read some more of these. Let's see. Okay, this person replied to that, says it's not about just Stryker. How many people have left or made to leave who had been essential, I think they meant, part of TRS/NJP, ones who had a lot of contributions to the cause and organization. I personally think that these valuable people could be retained despite personal differences, albeit in a limited capacity, to continue to contribute to the cause and without discussing anything regarding the organization in their podcasts or articles. Well, this is a type of situation, and if they'd asked for my advice, which they didn't, and I've had fallings out with people before, famously, and I was talking about Ricada yesterday, and he's agreed to come on the show. We don't have the date, and it's hard for us to finalize that because we both, I spend the time, so does he, but
Adal Wolf sent $1
we had a
on
falling
Rumble.
out, though.
If they're too lazy to answer the phone, they're too lazy to delete voicemails. Eventually this will catch up with them. It's only a matter of time. I encourage everyone to do this in the future.
It's a good tactic. I've not heard of it, but I approve. I do approve. Oh, Kanashay's post just getting absolutely skunked too. What a loser. What a little gnat loser. You bum. Yeah, it's because I'm an E-celeb and you're not. No matter how bad you want to be. Sorry. Loser. My posts are always going to do better than yours. Especially when they come out first. Now, let's see here. Look at some more. Striker and I got into an argument like a year ago that resulted in him blocking me, so it isn't that he doesn't have a temper. However, Striker's a key energetic warrior and should not have been pushed aside. This is incredibly troubling. This one should have ended with the normal theme tune, but in minor key. I don't know what that means. Somebody said Hail Striker. Let's see. Striker is a massive and unique loss. This guy's from South Africa. Really tough pill to swallow. Show some fucking leadership and break the silence. What leadership? Liquidity said. Oof. This loss hit me hard. Striking Mike was something special. What makes it all the more difficult to take is it's not like there was a slow decline in quality where we all kind of saw the end coming. The episodes over the past few months have been fantastic, and you guys were consistently hitting 3+ hours of super dense material from all over the place. I'm just really bummed out. I don't think I missed a Tuesday live stream in years. Hell, I took my wife and kids on vacation to Europe last winter, and I was on the goddamn Dutch train system, he said, bringing some excess luggage back to whatever, Schiphol, I don't know what that is, but listening to the live stream, it was a big part of my week. Sven and Mike, please make sure all the old episodes stay up and accessible for paid chads. Let's see. I thought this was going to be Mike playing with his dog for 2 hours. If only, someone responded. I'm worried that Tony is the common issue with NJP drama. Well, that's what McKevitt said yesterday, who I don't know him. Don't really know of him, but I guess a regional leader, or was a regional leader for NJP. Let's see. A lot of us have met Striker and find it hard to believe that he can't work with people. However, y'all want to be cryptic about reasons. Maybe try for some more transparency. Yeah, you kind of have to. Like, this doesn't work in an organization. It's not just like it's a show. It doesn't even work on a show either.
North 3434 sent $3 on Rumble. Just finished my LFCS research.
Sick.
Felt like I smashed it. Work can get off my back for a bit now, and I can have a break from study for a couple of weeks. Did I miss much?
Today, yes. Yep. Anglin dropped a nuke on Nick Fuentes because of his Richard Spencer collaboration that's supposed to happen tonight, which I'll cover live if we hit that goal, which we're creeping up toward. And TRS they have a slight conflagration there, which means fire. It's a fancy way of saying fire. Okay. Now, let's continue. And congratulations, sir. Glad you got that knocked out. Oh, it's Kozer. This is back to the Fuentes Anglin thing. Kozer, who's a top guy with both those guys, he said, for those in my DMs, still AF, still based. Ride or die means ride or die. Also, I still love AA, which stands for Andrew Anglin. I just don't want to be associated with SSRIs, is what he said. Yeah, that's what I took it for, too. He said, yeah, I don't know. That's some shot at Anglin, I guess. His name is SSRI Kozer, to be fair. But still, that seems direct. Yeah, it does to me. It seems like a shot, but I don't know. We'll keep. Let's see. Sorry. Getting stuff during the show. All right. Now, Tony did fine. Don't take your frustrations out on him. Striker changed my life. Tony, not so much. Let's put it this way. We're led to believe that everything is hunky-dory until it isn't. That's why I feel as if there is a crisis of credibility. I'm sure lots of listeners knew James was getting tired of Jazz Hand's constant barbs and was on the way out, but the surprise departures without details are hurtful. Let's see. Sad to see Striker go. I just bought a subscription specifically for Strike and Mike. Why is everyone hating on Tony? He's great. 19 downvotes. Wrong. 22 upvotes was the reply. I've had time to sleep it off and think it over some. This episode was still a slap in the face. Yeah, look, a lot of people, from what we gleaned yesterday, and I don't even know this Tony guy, but a lot of people seemingly were blaming him, and then they replaced Striker with
Anonymous
him.
sent $5. Adolwolf should be in jail. Some of us have work to do tomorrow. We can't be talking on the phone all day.
Now, wait a minute. I love Ada Wolf. But jail? Arrest him? Arrest Ada Wolf? Now, wait a minute. Have you had that tactic deployed against you before, Anon? Is that what? You seemed had a little edge to it. Had a little edge to it. 129 away from the goal. All right, now the loss of Conti sucked. Greg Conti, I think, but the loss of Striker really sucks. Best wishes. Let's see. Oh man, no, Striker sucks. It's okay though. I've been with you guys since 2016. Hope you can keep up the good work. Very disappointed, Trucking Dude says. Mike and Eric meet. I think he means need to work it out. Oh no, he says Mike and Eric meet to work it out. Strike and Mike was my favorite show. First we lose Fast the Nation, then this. Hopefully they can work out whatever issues they had. Don't let your egos get in the way of the greater cause. Work it out, bitches. LOL, serious. It's normal to get into arguments sometimes. Hopefully it's just a temporary thing. I don't think so. But yeah, they really should have worked it out. But, you know, that's easy to say. That's easy to say because, you know, they always say, well, we're working it out. I mean, sometimes it's not workable. Workoutable. Right? So that happens. Also kick. What is going on? The thing froze. Okay, it's back. It's back. The stream never went down. My panel went down. Okay. A leader that we all thought was permanently baked into the NJP cake has departed suddenly. The general audience, including highly respected members of TRS, are not at all happy with the way this thing is being swept under the rug with no explanation. Nothing positive about that ending. Oh, the guy above had tried to say it ended on a positive note. Well, it didn't. And Stryker posted that, I guess, since he posted that comment. The post from Stryker we read a few minutes ago was posted after. Let's see. That was the third page of comments? Wow. Okay. I'll skim through a few more. Let's see. Losing Striker like this, I haven't been this heartbroken since Killstream. Well, the Killstream's on the rise again.
Adolwolf sent $1 on Rumble. Sounds like Anonymous is getting 15 1-second voicemails coming their way. Also, they'll never catch me alive.
I'll never catch him. Well, you know what? I did go off a cliff, but I'm pretty good at climbing back up that fucking cliff. And I've had to do it several times due to my own actions. I'm a pretty good climber. I'm extra good when I'm sober. You fuck. Well, you'll have to have something to watch now. You won't be watching Strike and Mike. And I doubt you want to watch Strike and Tony from the sound of your comment. Ark says the show is circling the drain without Striker. You deleted my funny comment. It was position neutral. Let's see. Absolutely gutted. I keep coming back and buying subs every few months for TDS and Strike and Mike. I can't justify the current price for just TDS. As much as I love the show, sorry. We've replaced George Lincoln Rockwell with Droopy Dog. Yep, everything will be fine. What was the nuke dropped on Nick, Fractal Face? Well, I read the whole thing for like an hour, 45 minutes. Talked about it. I could go back and read it again. Press R if you want me to read it again here. 15, 20 minutes. This is devastating. I hope you guys can give it a bit of more time to resolve your differences. Blah, blah, blah. Hovator sucks. Get him off his bum ass. I don't know what that means. Like maybe that's a Tony reference. Tony Hovator, is that his name? Okay, fine. Some people coming in late. I'll read it. I'll do a straight read through in a bit. Not long. Just give me a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes. I actually enjoyed Mike and Tony, but it's not a substitute for Strike and Mike. The tone and subject matter were completely different. It was more like an episode of TDS minus Alex and Sven. Let's see. I'm gutted. I remember listening to the first episode, and this show changed my life. I really hope it's not political and these guys remain friends. I don't think so. No strike, no sub. I still like you guys, but there is really no point for me paying for your content if Striker is not in it. Swallow your pride. Let Striker have a freer role or whatever you need to do and get him back next week. This person says, I'm not paying with no Striker. Yes, I agree. Whoever has to eat the crow, just eat it. Add ketchup if it helps. Let's see. Yep. Strike and Mike is the top shelf item, not TDS. This decision is insane. It's like firing Mike or Sven from TRS. Take back Striker. He is irreplaceable. This is a red line. Let's see. So much for one struggle and white unity at every opportunity. Sad. These are dark days. Let's see. Okay, I'm skipping through some of the longer ones. Just Sven a few weeks back. Don't worry about Jazz. Striker has the best points on Palestine. And then he said today. Let's see. Striker, well, I won't read that, but some of these I won't read. So Striker's been fired, eh? Fuck. He was one of my favorites. First James, then Jazz, now Striker. Not to mention Les and Hate House, which was Larry Ridgway. He says, damn. Does this mean 2 Christmases? Okay, that's very funny. Let's see. Mike, you need to be open about this, and you know it. I figured it out. Striker. I remember this reference. I figured it out. Striker bought Tony's kid a steak. And for the record, Tony, I kind of dig the John Petrucci at home look. You being a drummer, though. I'm also glad you didn't lean into the Mike Portnoy look for obvious reasons. Let's see. I never agreed with not addressing internal issues publicly. All it did was allow our enemies to tell our story for us. That's true. Let's see. Black pilled, screen capped. Mike is deleting comments. LMFAO. Half the comments have been deleted. Well, there's 200 comments. And now Striker gone 250, and they still deleted some. And now Striker gone 2. Fuck, this is getting ridiculous now. Okay, I'll skim through. We've read enough, I think. I think you get the idea. Let's see if I find a couple more. The coroner who actually conducted the autopsy ruled it an overdose. A second one was called in to contradict that using only paperwork. That was a George Floyd reference. Let's see. Striker sure does sound different. Must have finally quit smoking. What is going on? Someone said. This is for the best. Striker's a difficult person to work with. We were better off with him doing his own thing. Minus 89 on the score. Minus 89. Let's see. All right, Dingo, you have deliberated, and before that, I'll say we also read some of the comments. They replaced Striker with Tony. I don't know his last name, Hovati or Hovator or some shit.
Hovator.
Hovator, yeah. Of course, some of the haters of him were doing a little remix of his name there in the comments, and I don't know him. I'm not trying to dunk on him or anything. That's how I saw his name. To say they were upset would be a little bit of an understatement. I would say it was about 90 to 93% hostile, and there were some people that were a little more positive or what have you, but it was I'd say about 90% minimum hostilities. Most positive comments are getting downvoted. And then Stryker put this out. We have some clips as well. Apparently they talked about it on their show, and we'll play that too. But thoughts on what you've heard so far? I haven't heard the clips, so I don't know. But
yeah, so far I got no idea. It sounds like somebody is being like unreasonable. You know, I don't know who it is at this point, but it just sounds like somebody's being unreasonable and possibly even lying. Like there's a cunt somewhere in this bunch. Like, I don't know who it is because like I'm conflicted on like what to even think about it so far, because there's two things that stick out in my mind. And I was thinking it before Stryker. I mean, yeah, Stryker even said it, like his record of like leaving an organization for a good reason is so far, I mean, he's 1 for 1, right? Like it's 100%. He's 1 for 1. So not a ton to go off of, but like whenever I think about the last time that I was sure in my head that, you know, TRS was wrong about something, 3 days later, I was proven that, wow, they couldn't have been more right. And I felt like a retard. And so sometimes in life, you have to remember the moments where you truly learned something. And like that instance was like, I learned that, hey, you know what? Maybe there are people in this group that are better at seeing the big picture than I am. And so those two things are conflicting. So I guess I'm going to need some more info. But I do feel like there's a cunt somewhere in this bunch. We just got to sniff it out.
Yeah, and
no pun intended.
Anyway, but I think that's fair to say. And somebody asked me, what my advice would be to Enoch. I mean, my first advice would be try to put it back together. That doesn't seem likely. So there's two other options: you soldier on, or you quit. Those are basically the options there. Also, what just happened on Rumble? Let me see here.
What do you mean?
Okay, so the number went down to 0 and then went back to where it was. I don't know what. Rumble has some weird quirks. I don't know if that was just on my screen. Yeah, it was a glitch. It was like, damn, did they take my stream down? I didn't even do anything. And then it came back. I was like, oh, shit. That's what you don't want to see as a streamer. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Now, whenever you said they replaced Stryker with Hovator, what do you mean? Like, replaced him where?
Well, instead of Mike and Strike, it's Mike and Tony now. Literally, they named it that.
Oh, okay. On the show, they replaced him?
Yeah, on the show, which was their number one show, is my understanding.
I mean, like, I don't know, like Stryker, and people are going to be like, oh, people might think that I'm trying to take a shot at Stryker with this, and I swear to God, I'm not, because it impacts how I think and feel about Stryker, 0. But I find his voice to be painful to my ears, and not what he says, not his ideas, literally just his like voice. I fucking hate it. Okay, like I hate his voice, so I never listened to Stryker Mike because of that. But like what I think and feel about Stryker is this: like there are a few things that I disagree with Stryker on, but the things that I disagree with him on, those are things that he completely agrees with Mike and them on, right? So like the things that I disagree with Stryker about, they're the exact same things I disagree with Mike and all them about, which is like, it's the Israel Palestine stuff. Like I'm just not ever going to carry another like some brown nation's flag and then go like protest for brown people, right? I mean, I won't do it. And there's reasons for that, because brown people conduct themselves much differently than white people do. And if I put my name behind like a cause, it's going to be white people and for the betterment of white people. But because like if you go put your name behind a bunch of brown people, they're liable to act up in a few days. And I'm trying to use my language nicely here. But like I'm not going to tie my name to a group of people that are not my own. I'm just not, ever. Like, yes, I do agree Israel sucks, but I'm not going to tie my name to Browns.
James
Won't find me, but
North
they will.
3434
Mike
sent
is right.
$3 on Rumble. Fuck Israel. Fuck Palestine.
North said fuck Israel and fuck Palestine is what he said. He says that often.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and it's funny because
That's me.
It's funny because I'm more in agreement with them actually on this issue. But I mean, I've been pro-Palestinian since before I came to all this. So
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, go ahead.
I
I
guess,
understand
like,
what
I'm
you're
not
saying
like,
is
fuck
perfectly logical.
Palestine.
Well, yeah, you didn't say that exactly, but
like I can look at the situation and tell who the good and the bad guys are if I have to pick a good and a bad guy. Obviously, Palestinians are the ones who were, you know, they were fucked in this deal. Israel is the one who is doing the fucking, right? Like, I can see that. It's just that, like, my people are getting fucked by the same type of, you know, the same exact Jews. So, like, I'm just not wasting any energy on them. I can't. I don't have any more. We don't have time to be fucking around, you know, protesting for Palestine. We just don't. We're going extinct just as fast, if not faster, than they are. So fuck that. That's all I'm saying.
What you said is a logical take, though. It's like, well, you're pro-white, you're out here to support whites, and I'm pro-white too. I mean, like I said, I'm more agree with the other side, but what you're saying is perfectly logical, though. It's like, well, I'm here to support whites. What is this, you know? And some of them, it's kind of taken over. I don't know. We've covered a lot too, so I can't necessarily.
Well, those same Palestinians, like those same Palestinians and brown people in other countries who are pro-Palestinian, like that's their identity, right? Like there's a lot of Palestinians abroad who their whole identity is pro-Palestinian, just like mine is being pro-white.
Yes, there are.
And they say things that completely shit all over whitey. Like, I can't tie my name to them either, because then I'm in a conflict of interest. So they'll say things like, you know, Israel is a white supremacist, colonizing place. It's like, wait a minute, what? Like, no, they're not. Like, what Jews do has nothing to do with white people. But these pro-Palestine people all over the place, they paint Israel's actions in a light of, you know, white supremacy and colonization.
Yeah, I don't like that. And I'm like,
Me neither.
and I'm pro-Palestinian. I hear that, and I'm like, oh, God, will you fuckers just stop? Like, first off, you could turn a lot more people to your cause, in my opinion. Whatever. They're talking to different audiences, but yeah, when I hear that too, I'm like, okay, well, you just fucking lay off that shit and stick to the meat and potatoes here. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. The reason that makes me not want to support them or that movement is because it's not because, like, oh, well, they're saying this, fuck them. What it is it's like, whenever they say that, they give you a peek into the window, you know, that is their soul. They hate whitey at the end of the day. Like, they think that Israel's just a group of white people. So, wow, okay. Now I know exactly what they think. So I'm like, why would I go protest for them?
North 3434 sent $3 on Rumble. The Palestinians are pro-Islam. They are looking for the new caliphate. So I'm not down to help. Starve off one enemy to feed another.
Now, are they really
Fuck
looking for the new caliphate? No, hold on, I'll read this. He says the Palestinians are pro-Islam. They are looking for the new caliphate. So I'm not down to help. Starve off one enemy to feed another. Fuck them all. He said. I don't know if I would say pro-caliphate, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any polling on it. But North is very consistent in his takes on the issue too. He's in the UK as well, so they have a different bit of experience with Muslims, I guess you could say, over there.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So I completely understand that. And I talked about this a little bit of a divide before, where it's like, you know, you see some of the European parts of the Killstream audience, or the British English parts of the Killstream audience, and they're not like free Palestine. They're not like that at all. Now, they may not be, you know, pro-Israel either. You know, 99% aren't, at least here. But they definitely don't go out of their way to support Palestine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good instinct. They're not pro-Palestine because they are anti-Muslim, because they've seen the horrific things that Muslims have done in their countries, right? Like the girl that got run over by the bus, Emma Aberlin. What was her name? It was Emma. You know what I'm saying? You know her name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
But yeah, the deaf girl that got run over by the
tank, wasn't it?
Muslim terrorist.
Yeah.
I think it was a bus.
Oh
wasn't it?
yeah, you're
Or
right. No,
18-wheeler.
I was thinking of the person in yeah, I know who you're talking about. This is different.
But I mean, like I want white people to have anti-outsider instincts. That's what I've been trying to foster in these people since I got on this fucking scene. Be pro-white and automatically distrust the outsider. That's nature, dude, you know? And we would all be better off if they did that. And now I'm supposed to go tell the same people, okay, accept this once. Be only pro your people and anti-outsider. Nah, bro, not with the experience these people have in Europe, like England, Switzerland, Sweden. Like these people have really, really affected, you know, the Muslims have really, really affected their peace and their lives and their society. You can't be telling them that, oh, you're an op. You must be an op, because they virulently dislike Muslims. Let them dislike the people that have been slaughtering whites over there in Europe for the last decade. Fuck's sake.
Well, that's perfectly logical for them too, to feel that way. That's why. But it's something I noticed over the last almost couple months now since this has been going on, and it's like, you know, me, I'm gung ho and like free Palestine, this that. That some of the, you know, European and English super chats or comments are like, oh, fine, you know, what the fuck. So, yeah, I completely understand that. Now, let me send these clips to you. Let's see. Okay, let's see. All right. Now I'll send these to you. I'm getting some more information to you.
Somebody in your chat said, but I'm not racist like Dingo is. Right? I mean, if you're still using like Jew words like racist, you're just a fucking retard. Like, honestly, that racist is a word that doesn't even need to exist. I noticed that the other day. There are so many words that don't need to exist nowadays because of like Jewish influence and Jewish subversion. Toxic masculinity, misogynist, racist. These are all words that are designed to take a natural human instinct that is, you know, the instinct is there for a good reason. The word is there to fucking make
Handsome
you.
Crayon sent $2 on Rumble. Fuck all of them.
Thank you, Gav. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like the word is there to make you shy away from your own instincts. Like you're toxic masculinity because you're just being all masculine, slamming weights in the gym, like you don't care that women are in there. Like, yeah, that's the natural state of a man. That's how he should be, right? And misogynist. Yeah, women suck at driving and they're really bad in high stress situations. That's a fucking fact. But that's being misogynistic. Racist is another one of those words. You should absolutely, you know, like in the what's that? The Scorpion and the Frog. You should be smarter than that frog. But if you're not, you're racist now. So whatever.
All right.
I mean, wait. If you are smarter than the frog, you're racist. What I mean. Go ahead. What are we listening to?
I forwarded it to you. It's TDS, and it's at 2:10. It's a little bit hard to control this on Telegram. Can you play it on Telegram and talk? I think you should be able to. I might just download it. How long is that going to take? No,
okay, yeah, I guess I can.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to download it. It's only 50 megabytes.
And then you're going to like upload it to a thing and send me a link?
No, just play it on there if you can. I'm just going to do it for me.
Okay. What's the first timestamp?
Let me see. It's 2:10. And apparently there's a certain word dropped in the first minute, so that's why we're not playing that. Yeah, it's at 2:10.
2 minutes, 10 seconds?
Yeah. 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Let me see. Okay, I have it. Give me a sec. Okay,
I can't control the exact timestamp like this. I have to let it play from 1:45, so I'll tell you when it's there.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just.
I'm at 1:53 right now.
All right, cool. Just tell me when you get there. Pause it, and I have to get there a little bit myself too, like 6 seconds.
I forgot how much I love McNabb's voice.
Yeah, you know, I always got along
hello?
with McNabb. I liked having. He's been on the show a few times back in the day.
Okay, I'm at 2:10. Hello, this is Alex McNabb. I'd like to talk to you about bicycles. Hello. I love McNabb too, by the way, just so in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, I know it's in fun. Okay, now, all right, it's up, and this is a longer clip. It's like 20, 30 minutes, and we'll see. You know, we may pause it here or there, but
well, I hope so.
Well, yeah, we will. I mean,
30 minutes.
we know you'll want to say something. Me, I'm very docile, very quiet person. So, all right, 210, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, hit it right now.
Like you created a.
Now I have deep concerns.
Great.
I'm
Now,
like, great. So he's going to burn my house down.
all right. Well,
That
just
might be an improvement. No.
just make sure you stay on the call and finish the show if that happens.
I will.
Yeah.
26 from the goal.
Right. So
Loyal.
so
we're
here's my thing. All right,
talk about why I have one less product to sell on Tuesdays.
No, we're gonna have a show on Tuesday nights.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm always gonna be doing that stream. Listen, I'll just say this. Look, I get that. Like, it was very shocking to people and it blindsided them what happened with Stryker.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting it. They didn't see it coming. I can totally understand that, but from our perspective, this was not a shock. And I understand that also people are highly curious about it, and us saying like, look, we had a disagreement, parted ways. Everyone's like, no, I need to know more. It's completely understandable.
Well, that's how humans work.
And we tried initially doing it that way.
At least he said it was understandable.
Try to do things in like what is it, like amicable or professional manner of how you break things up or whatever. But
How far in are you
part
right
of that
now?
was
That only works if you got
Well, wait.
professionals to deal with.
well, it only works when
Just
both
pause
people,
it
when
then,
both sides
Dingo.
do it. And
It's
so
at-
we
I'm at 328.
I'm at 329.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, tell me. We'll say go whenever, and I'll hit it.
All right, hit it right now.
sort of and I was sort of trying to maintain the thing that we had agreed on after it had kind of already been broken, but that's what it is. So we had spoken with Stryker. He resigned, and we were negotiating with him for the last week or so on how we were going to handle that. He resigned Sunday last, so a week ago.
I didn't even realize it was that long ago.
Yeah, that was when he decided he was going to resign, and we like put a pin in it, and we're like, all right, we'll figure out how we'll do this, like what the terms of that are going to be. And we did Strike and Mike Tuesday, and it was all right, but it was the same. Like Strike and Mike, that had been basically on autopilot for 2 years, where we would go on do the show and really wouldn't talk in between.
Now, what led up to the resignation?
Well, a lot of different things, but to put it I'll put it this way: I'm going to agree with one thing that Stryker said in his resignation, and that was that he said his vision for the party. And this, the problem is
I know
that when you talk about what his vision is, it's just only his vision. And the issue is when you take a guy like him, very strong-willed, very opinionated, very forceful, and frankly, not in really any way tolerant of sort of, not just like disagreement, but even sort of any sort of competing space. It becomes sort of like, anything that is not that he's controlling, he starts to see as like an enemy. And when you build an apparatus like in the National Justice Party, when we brought Tony on as our permanent chief of staff to build an organization, to create a staff, to create people who are going to be in charge of executing certain mundane tasks, or people who are going to be making flyers, setting up events, like people who are going to be doing these basic organizational things. And then you go to Stryker and you say, like, well, okay, we're having an event on such and such a date, such and such a time. His reaction, instead of being like, thank you guys for setting things up, organizing things well, doing your job, basically making an organization run smoothly so that we, the people that are the spokespeople, the people who are out in front of it, have a support group. So when I'm going to go make a big speech in a location, I am highly grateful that there is a group of people behind me.
Yeah.
To set things up, to have the venue ready, to have the podium ready, to have the sound system in place. Stryker's reaction to that was, this is something I'm not in control of, therefore it's plotting against me. So we would have people that would come to him and say,
This
hey,
sounds like an NDA
we're having an
violation
event
too,
here. This is just an example, okay? We're having the event here. You're going to be speaking, so we need you to have be here at this time and get set up and all this stuff. And he'd be like, I never agreed to this. I never agreed to that. You guys are planning this without my input. And like I'm sick of not having any power in this group. So that was sort of, and take that and repeat it like infinitely.
Right.
And I know that this is
the reason I'm not
this
really
is the
chiming.
kind of-
The reason I'm not chiming in is I don't have this experience with him. Like he's never really done this shit to me, so I don't like.
Well, Because from your perspective as
well, I'm not in the party with him,
co-host
so,
and manager
yeah.
of the site, and just being sort of a party guy that comes to the events when you can. All you had to worry about was him doing a podcast.
I mean, I've heard stories. Like, you're not just making this. Like, I've heard stories about. Just him being like. I've heard stories about him being abusive to people.
This is sort of the point. So it would be that there would be somebody that would come up from the staff organization and say something to him, and they were doing their job. They were as they had been instructed that their job is to set up an event or do a campaign or something, whatever it might be. And if he felt, and it would be off and on. It wouldn't always be all the time,
right?
But sometimes it would be like, he was like, I don't have control of this. And what happened is that sometimes with people like, the way his mind works, it would be, okay, so he's very good at analyzing and deconstructing power structures.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really know where to stop doing that. So he started to see the actual organization, the increasingly well-run organization, and therefore ability to execute tasks of the NJP staff and the NJP supporter groups. He started to see they're actually becoming something more than what most white nationalist groups have become, which is just a bunch of people talking shit online or in a newsletter, if you go back to the 80s or whatever it might be. He started to see this as a suffocating curtailment of his personal freedom and his personal ability to operate. And then one of the things that would happen is he would say stuff. Sometimes people wouldn't agree with it. And then they would say, I don't want to be represented by what you're saying. Or
I have a question to Dingo. Is Mike a Jew? Or is that just lies?
All right, it's at 8:41, by the way, Dingo. I paused it. Are you there? Dingo has passed away. No! Dingo, no! Oh, he had to mute himself. I hope he's not getting a speeding ticket or something. Well, I'll ask him that here in just a second. PowerChat.live/TheRalphRetort, Killstream.live/tip, $ Sunset Squad on Cash App, Rumble Rants, as North just used. And we're very close to the goal. Very close to the goal. What is it at? $23 away from hitting the goal, which means we'll cover the Spencer Fuentes thing at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll have to figure out how to do that, but that's what that means if we hit the goal. I'll be starting a little late tomorrow. I don't think I'll have a show on Friday. Maybe something at night. But Saturday, we'll have a show. Dingo will be here to debate Aiden projects. On Tuesday, December the 5th, Jim Goad is rolling back through. I'm looking forward to that, too. We're listening to TDS from today, I think. Go ahead.
Did you pause it?
Yes.
Shit. Where'd you pause it at?
8:41.
Fuck, dude. This is all fuck. Okay, 8:41.
Yeah, it's hard on Telegram. Yeah. Yeah, 8:41.
Okay, hang on. I'm trying.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry, my wife called me.
I figured it was something like that. And somebody's asking for Anglin's comments. Well, I read them out twice, so I won't read them out again anytime soon, but I'll link you my tweet because that's where you can read them. And I'll put that in the Rumble chat since that's where they asked it. But you can read them there. I may read them again towards the Fuentes Spencer thing if we hit the goal. So I may get back to that. But yeah, it's at 8:41. There's a super chat question for you. That's why I was pausing it.
Okay. I'm caught up and it's paused.
All right. So this is a I don't know if it's hostile or not. I think he's being genuine, but he says a question to Dingo: is Mike Enoch Jewish or is that just lies? Is what he said.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. Well, he was married to a Jewish woman.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that is real. And she used to be on the show, and they did like comedy bits and stuff. And then
he knowingly put
yeah.
His Jewish at the time wife on the show. That happened.
Yeah, that did.
But is he a Jew? No.
That's undeniable, that first part, yeah. So, yeah, that did happen, and I guess he got doxxed, which is unfortunate, although, happens, obviously, in this line of work, specifically.
Been there.
Right, yeah, I've been there, too, and stay there. But yeah, so he got doxxed, and I think they found out who his wife was, and some detective work there or whatever. Yeah, so. All right, so there's Dingo on that. All right, 8:41, are you ready?
I am.
All right, hit it right now.
Don't necessarily agree with
these
those.
sort of things. I've been on those ones. Okay.
And so then when we would try and talk to him about it, his answer would be, well, all those people that think that are undermining me, they're suffocating me, and they should be kicked out. And so we have to explain to him, we are in a group.
I remember he would also say, in a situation like that, well, I can say whatever I want. I don't represent anything. It's like,
yes, that would then be the retort.
We represent each other.
If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm saying, then, and I get, like, look, there are times when somebody doesn't like what they're saying, what I'm saying or you're saying, and they're wrong. Like, they're actually full of shit and they're just whining. Fine. But even so, like, just being abusive towards that, just ignore it, right? Yeah. There are sometimes when people are saying something and legitimately other people are like, hey, hold on. And maybe, and the thing is, it's like, when you work in a group, and a podcast network is different because
that's what I was going to say. Podcasting is very different than running a political organization.
It's lower stakes. It's easier, and if someone says something on a podcast you disagree with, you maybe just don't listen, or it's not a big deal, and someone can say a different thing on another podcast later. Although the other thing is that this network, we have increasingly solidified the points, the ideas, and the things that we're putting out, right?
Yeah,
and so. But with the NJP, again, the issue isn't like people were trying to constantly like control what he was saying. It's that we had to have an idea that we all represent each other. We're all on the same team, and so when
usually it was fine. Usually he was, but in those cases that he wasn't, he never accepted the idea of being on a team with other people. And the only way he would be capable of being on a team with other people would be to control them completely. So, for example, any project he was given, or any, shall we say, responsibilities he was given, it became something where he would come in and he would say, I need party resources, and I need a staff that will follow my instructions with no questions, and I need nobody else to come in and interfere or oversee what I'm doing. And then I would have to tell him that's unreasonable. Like, that simply can't, that can't be how it operates, particularly given that you're not actually the leader. Mm-hmm. And then he would say, well, then there's no point in me doing anything, and I'm going to throw up my arms and quit. And we would continually say to him, no, Stryker, what you're good at is podcasting. You're good at writing. We would like you to do those research.
things. We would be willing to pay you to do those things. Researching, writing articles, finding out stuff about the FBI.
I'm paused at 11:27. And yeah, we can pause. Go ahead.
Okay. As far as him saying, like, what you're not good at is the interpersonal, like this interaction, this and that, this and that. Okay, what comes to my mind whenever he says that is, and I wasn't there, I don't know for a fact this is true, if this happened or not, but I think he said it on your show. Remember whenever Johnny Monoxide was complaining about Stryker, and they were at the restaurant, and his kid wanted a steak or something, and he was like, no, you're not getting a steak, you're going to get it. And Stryker was like, buy the kid a steak. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. He told that story on the show too.
Yeah. If that really happened, that's a giant fucking no-no.
I agree with that.
I would want to fight that motherfucker if that was, if somebody did that to me, I would immediately just want to go beat their ass. Like, don't ever fucking try to question me in the matters of like what goes on with my son, especially in front of my son. Now, if that's true, if that actually happened, I mean, and this is like, there's not evidence. It's just, I'm just telling you what's going through my head as I'm hearing this. If that's true, then I would think that, like, maybe he is a guy that's difficult to get along with, because that's a line most people know not to fucking cross. You know what I mean?
Well, I heard that story, and we heard it before. He had told it, but he came on here and told a longer version. It's hard to find that episode, even for me, but it did happen. And he told this story, and some people might not get it or whatever, but like, maybe Stryker was fucked up. I think he'd had a few drinks and maybe a little snow, from what Monoxide said, but I don't know. Again, that's what he said. But yeah, that's a real bad thing to do. And like you said, especially in front of the kid. It'd be one thing is behind the scenes.
Nick 25 sent $3.
Thank you for that 3 spot. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, especially in front of the kid. I mean, maybe later on, if he's like, hey, man, you should lighten up a little bit. Maybe let him have a steak or do something every once in a while. That's one thing. It's like a private conversation. But questioning the father's authority right there in front of him, and, trying
and then to be like, I'll pay for it. Like it's a matter of money or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's poor or something. Like he's broke and can't afford it or something. It's like, okay. Yeah, that's the other wrinkle to it too. Yeah, it's insulting on that level too. It's like, what? I can't buy a steak? Fuck off. So yeah, I heard that story and I thought it was.
I'd be getting in a fight in front of my kid at the Waffle House or where the fuck they were at if that was me.
Yeah, it could definitely be some word said at the minimum.
I would immediately like turn it into a fight. I wouldn't just go punch him, but I would say things that he would have no choice but to fight me or look like a bitch. Like the only two options in that scenario are you punk him out retardedly over like way more than you need to, or you beat the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. And then once I've kicked his ass, I'd turn to my kid and I'd go, and you're still not getting the fucking steak because I said so.
You're still not getting a steak, you little.
Now you're not gonna get a steak till you're 16, you little shit. Hope you enjoy it.
I hope you like chicken, you little shit. All right, now, don't say that. Now, okay, I agree with you completely. And I saw some people trying to defend that or whatever, and it's like you don't even have to have kids. No, that's fucked up. Like, just anyway.
Yeah, but like what I mentioned earlier about like whenever I thought that I was right and I disagreed with TRS on something, only to find out that I couldn't have been more wrong a few days later.
For people
wonder,
North3434 sent $3 on Rumble. That was a serious question.
Yeah,
As
I
I stopped listening to TDS when I found out about the wife. It just seemed like a grift to me after that. I was asking in good faith,
you were.
as I thought Dingo might know.
I thought you were. I was just qualifying for him just in case you weren't.
Nick 25
wow.
sent $20.
Nick 25, thank you, brother. You know what that means? It means we hit the goal. It means we're covering Spencer and Fuentes live at 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know how. I have to look into how we're gonna do that. I guess I have to subscribe to Spencer's Substack. Are you fucking okay? It's well, whatever. I have the money now. I mean, I had it before too. It's not a striker type situation. Okay. So I'll read this to you. Well, first off, you put a pin in it. Finish your thought there, and then I'll read this question to you from North.
What was it? Oh yeah, okay. So I know what I was saying. But so like whenever I said earlier about I thought I was right, but I was wrong when I disagreed with him about something. In case anybody's wondering, it was whenever Tony Hovader and Matt, what's that fucking guy's name? Fuck. You know, the box breaking incident.
Wait. McKevitt that we were talking about yesterday?
No, that's Michael McKevitt. Matt, how could I forget his name?
Oh, Parrott.
No.
Oh, fuck.
The one who was fucking Parrott's wife.
Oh, Heimbach.
Heimbach, yes. So whenever Tony and Heimbach had a show on TRS, this is a long time ago, like 2018 possibly. It might have been 17, I don't know. But so it was that. And whenever TRS kicked them off the show, off the network, because like of all of Heimbach's, like takes that basically sounded like communist. They were like, yeah, fuck this, they have to go. And I was like, oh, I'm Mr. Unity guy. Guys, we can work this out, And I completely disagreed with them kicking them off. So far that I even had Tony Hovader on my show, like the next day, which was a big no-no at the time because they just got kicked off the network. And then like literally 2 days later, the box broke and everybody found out that Heimbach was fucking Matt Parrott's wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he found him.
And what's his name was also wait. That's not just it. What's his name was standing on a box outside the trailer. This is literally true. By the way. Parrott was standing. Parrott was standing on a crate outside the trailer, looking in through the window while Heimbach was railing his wife.
And then the box broke.
Yes,
he was standing on a milk crate, so the milk crate broke.
This is true. By
it's all true.
Go ahead.
Milk crate breaks, and that alerts Heimbach and Parrott's wife that there's somebody out there. So Matt Heimbach, and this is my speculation, completely naked with a boner. That's my speculation. The rest of it is fact. Walks outside and gets into a physical fight with Matt Parrott. And so here comes more speculation. He's choking Matt Parrott unconscious, poking his boner into Matt Parrott's back while choking him.
I don't want that.
Now I'm turning the facts back on. It's possible that Matt Heimbach didn't have a boner and he put his clothes back on. But in my head, it's like, oh, what's that sound? And he just runs outside naked and gets in a fight.
With his dick in his hand, a line from The Godfather.
Yeah, like, it's like he was so worried about the intruder, he didn't have time to put his clothes back on. In my head, that's how it happened. It probably didn't happen that way.
I hope it didn't happen that way.
But anyway, so I think about that, and I remember that what I learned in that was I need to know my role, right? And like at that time, I was like, clearly they have better sight of the bigger picture than me because like thank God they weren't still on the network at the time. The box broke. And so, like, whenever they're sitting there talking about, like, your role is this, you're good at this, Striker, you're good at this. I'm not taking sides yet, but, like, I'm leaning toward agreeing with what Mike is saying here. Based on the stake, buy the kid a stake thing, and what I learned with know your role, like, maybe he didn't know his role. I don't know.
Well, Steiger, you know, we'll hear more. If he could have held him somehow, it would have been better for his business, obviously, and the subscribers and all that, because I saw a lot of people pissed. That being said, what I know of my interactions with Striker is he's a huge prick. And he
really,
yeah, I had him on to debate Destiny. Okay. So he thought, I don't know if I went into this fully, but Mike Enoch debated Destiny like a month before this, and it was on my show too. And he thought Enoch got embarrassed, and he wanted a shot at Destiny after that to like settle the score or something, because he thought Enoch got embarrassed, which I actually didn't think that. And again, I don't usually weigh in on who I think did what in the debates, but Striker obviously lost his debate with Destiny. I mean, I don't think that's controversial to say. And Enoch was maybe a little slow, and I usually don't do this because it's not really proper, but Enoch was maybe a little slow in the first half of that debate, but I thought he kind of came into his own in the second half. And even Striker had some moments in the second half of his, but it was pretty much widely regarded as an L that he had to hold. And he was mad at me for not, I guess, protecting him more and moving the topic off of jazz music, which he brought up himself. And, you know, whatever you think about Destiny, he's actually like, he's a music major with a degree in like, I think classical music or just music in general, music theory or some shit. So this was like right into his wheelhouse, and Striker got smashed for like 30 or 40 minutes straight because he wouldn't move the topic off. And you know how I do the blood sports dingo. I don't really jump in to save anybody, right? If that's what they're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like if that's what they're talking about, if that's how the conversation went. And especially since he initiated the conversation too. It's like, I'm not gonna, it's not unfair for me to let that go. Well, he was mad because he thought I should have moderated it more. And basically, started doing like shit talk about me to those people, his associates, etc. And I don't want to fuck with Ralph anymore. He set me up. He was biased in favor of Destiny because that's a bigger guest on his show, which is absolutely not true. So yeah, that's my experience with Striker. So
okay. See, I had Striker on my show once, and I never talked to him before or after. Well, I mean, before I emailed him, like, here's the time, here's the link, whatever. But like, I have zero relationship with Striker, none at all. Not good, not bad. It's still neutral. And so, like, my opinions on this, it's kind of, I don't know. It's almost like it's hard for me to trust my own opinions because I have experience with Enoch and Alex and Sven, right? I have none with Striker. And so, like, that's why I kind of have to base, like, just what I thought maybe about Striker on that Johnny story. And now I got a little bit more input from you. So it's kind of turning out like maybe I don't know, maybe he does have, like, something where he wants to control more than his role. I've felt that way before myself until the box broke. Then I realized, like, no, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, and again, I don't know. He could be right, and maybe he thinks he was influential enough, and he talked about it in the party's platform, the creation of that, and the founding, that he felt like he should have had more cachet and more power, and that it wasn't fair. And I can understand that too. And I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe it was Mike and them, but yeah, that's my experience with Striker. Is all I can say. Handsome Crayon, go ahead.
Handsome Crayon sent $2 on Rumble. Got a couple of questions for Dingo. Like you, Dingo, enjoy your input. 1, why Dingo? It's an Australian name. And 2, are you rich from your rug coin?
All right, 2 questions for you from Handsome Crayon. 1, why Dingo? It's an Australian name. He's Australian. And he said, 2, are you rich from your rug coin? Is what he said.
It rhymes with my last name, and it was also my nickname in my 8th grade football career, which I quit halfway through the season. But that's the nickname they picked at the pep rally, so that's all I can really think of. In 2016, so that's why. And then, yes, I am.
I played 8th grade football and quit, too.
I did not like it.
Oh, dude, I didn't like it. I love watching football, but I did not like playing it. Back then, it was the late 90s, and, like, they did psychotic type training for, like, kids, too. Like, it was, like, 2-a-days, 100-degree heat in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's exactly why I quit.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, now they don't let them do that to kids, but they damn sure did when I was a kid. There was no, protect them, and it's too hot, and don't, no hits to the head. It was like psychotic level violence and like stress, even to the kids. Like, it was crazy when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll just sit in the stands and watch and try to hit on chicks and stuff, which is way more fun.
Like I played travel ball. Yeah. Like travel baseball, I played that. We had 2-a-day practices all the time.
What's baseball?
But the reason I didn't mind that, it was hot as fuck. The reason I didn't mind that is because I was good at baseball.
Sent $3 flying avocado cat to the fucking moon. Thank you, Dingo, for the financial advice.
I'll tell him that.
Any chance Enoch would come on again?
Oh, let me.
It's been years, and he was always a great guest. Get the band back together.
Thank you,
Enoch. Anglin fighting side by side again.
Thank you for that. And yeah, I was way better at baseball. I was actually pretty good at baseball. Probably not as good as you, but I was pretty good, way better than anything else. And I played a lot of different sports, but I wasn't very good at any of the others. But baseball, I was pretty fucking good. And baseball, yeah, I mean, you're playing baseball. Yeah, it's really hot, but you're not fucking out there getting knocked the fuck around.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more gentlemanly out there, right? And so, yeah, I always preferred baseball. And I played baseball in some hot-ass weather, too. Now, Dingo was really good. I had a friend who was on a traveling team, too, but I never went that because I ended up stopping playing when I was like 13 or so. But now, I do love baseball. Now, let me ask this, or read this to you, actually. General Septic says, flying avocado cat to the fucking moon. Thank you, Dingo, for the financial advice. Any chance Enoch would come on again? I would say probably not, but he says it's been years and he was always a great guest. I agree with that. He was a great guest.
I think he would come on again.
Well, a lot of things were said. Mostly all of them by me, honestly. But he says, get the band back together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did say a lot of fucked up.
Yeah, the kids. You got kids thing. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was pretty. I went a little hard there. But I was kind of.
It was a rough time. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it was a rough time. He says, "Get the band back together." Enoch, Anglin fighting side by side again. Now I know that won't happen.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Anglin is a fucking look, so no.
Look, they hate each other. I think it's fair to say. I don't think that would materialize. But Enoch, I don't know. Never say never. I'd have him back on, but. It was pretty hostile, some of the things I said, but all right, now we're back to the tape here. I'm at 11:27. Are you there?
I'm trying to wipe my fucking literal peanut juice off my fingers so I can get to my scrolling pad.
Wait, you're eating the boiled peanuts with your fingers?
They take well, how else am I going to eat them? With my feet?
Well, a spoon, motherfucker? Like, I don't know.
No, you got to peel them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you can get them where they're already peeled in South Carolina. I didn't like
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they were already peeled and they were boiled still. Yeah.
Okay. You're how far in?
11:27.
I'm at 11:28.
All right. That's fine. All right. Go ahead and hit it right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Hit it right now.
Finding out stuff about like Jewish fentanyl importers,
yep.
All that kind of stuff. Very, very skilled and good at those kinds of things. And this is what he was valued for. And we continually told him that this is what you're valued for. This is what you're good at. What you're not good at is the interpersonal functioning of an apparatus, like taking care of a staff, planning things, coming up with an actual workable plan to bring off an event or something like this, right? And yet he found it intolerable that he couldn't control the whole thing at his whim whenever he wanted to. And there was times when he was perfectly willing to be hands off, but when he got it into his head that now I want to be in control, he would become enraged when people would tell him, this isn't your purview, this isn't your job, the event staff plans the events, the propaganda staff does flyering or whatever it might be. And so this is why he was saying things like this isn't living up to my vision of things. Because his vision of things is that he sort of arbitrarily would get to control any part of the thing whenever he wanted to, and that nobody should ever question that, and that this was a reasonable way to be. And eventually, we
why even bother signing NDAs?
This departure wasn't something that just happened at the drop of a hat, right?
No. Because
frankly,
one thing I'll say, people then might say, well, hey, like, why did you do the NJP? So we did the NJP because we felt we needed actually to have something out there as an activist and political vehicle.
Remember the summer of 2020? Do you remember the summer of 2020?
Yes.
Anybody asking that question? I mean, you had the president, the orange-based, neo-Nazi, hiding in the bomb shelter in the White House while the country burned down, and then he came out to do like a photo op. He walked across the street and held a Bible up for some reason, a serial adulterer, and then went back into hiding while the city continued to burn again, or the country began to burn. I mean, he lifted not a finger, because we're in the Christmas season now, to like stop it, and everybody was on that page of like, the best people could muster up was like, actually at the time, could you even say snarky things on Twitter? I don't remember what summer 2020 was like on Twitter because I don't think I had it.
Well, they were also at that time launching the project of like be mad about COVID instead of about BLM. We even on our show made fun of these conservatives who were talking about
I remember they did
I want health freedom with like burning city behind them.
I remember they did like an operational pause on COVID to allow the blacks to riot without masks on.
That was like one of the legit narratives that the COVID people had, and I don't think they exploited that to good enough effect. But yeah, so the thing there is that then once you move from doing podcasts with people, which you can have all kinds of cantankerous, hard, difficult people if all they have to do is chime in and do a podcast once a week.
So as far as these interpersonal conflicts, there were attempts to try to have interventions and discussions to kind of mitigate the problem, right?
You see how gray my hair is now? I mean, look, yes, we for very long tried to not do this. And in fact, one of the things Stryker would do is when things weren't going his way internally, he would threaten to quit. And we would tell him, like, no, that's not necessary.
Using your resignation,
let's not take these drastic steps.
Using your resignation as a shit test.
That's
you can only do that so many fucking times. I have not, like I said, I haven't experienced that, but hearing about this in like secondhand, it frustrates me to no end, because it's like the resignation ultimatum. You can do that like once in the real world. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to.
Well, look, the point
I'm just venting my frustration.
Well, let's not vent here because
it seems that good faith efforts were made to resolve the situation.
Oh, 100% for over a year. And the situation. Look. I don't want anyone to think that anybody is not like deeply regretful of this having to happen, because it is. But and I understand when you see a thing saying we had like disagreements that couldn't be resolved, you're going to be like, well, that just sounds like a blow off or whatever. And the reason you say that is because the hope is, yes, like let's use some of this sort of really anodyne bureaucratic language. Let's talk in this way, and people will kind of just get that there was some really unpleasant shit that nobody wants to dig through again. But that's never really going to work.
You've exhausted your options when you get to that particular juncture.
Right.
I
know that there's some people who are in the audience who probably saw that and were like, oh, man, I can only imagine the shit shows that were going on behind the scenes. I actually got several people coming to me yesterday saying this, and there are other people for whom they see something like that, like, I have to know more of what's going on. And, the other thing is then if I maintain just doing that and then the other party starts going out and saying things, then he's now controlling how this is framed. And obviously he's going to be angry and he's going to want to control that frame in a certain way. And I don't want to be in some kind of pissing match like that with anybody.
Well,
so
no,
I'm telling you guys
now. Specifically for talking to our audience that enjoy and want to continue to enjoy
and I have no plans on making this an online feud or a flame war with Stryker or going back and forth with him on Telegram or any of that. I legitimately hope that he goes off and does a project that will make him happy, that he can completely control on his own, maybe a writing project or something like that, and that is fulfilling for him.
Yep.
But the way his personality is, his need to be in control of things, his frankly, it's not even abrasive rudeness. That's a euphemism for what it is. The way he would get with people. So this became.
I just want to throw in there. I'm a little bit miffed with all this. It's like, okay, you can't work with the NJP. Why can't you make the podcast? That's kind of a thing.
I was curious about that
too. You can't even do that either. It's like
we have such an easy job here. It's so easy. All you have to do is log on, turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, and record a show.
No. This job is very difficult, Alex. It takes a lot of work. We're very good at what we do. We make it look easy. That's the trick. But no, I just mean like,
From my perspective, doing the podcast is my favorite part of everything that I do.
Right.
Because I like to that's why we even started doing this. Because I look at shit that's out
But
there,
it just
and
tells
I'm like,
you. It just tells you
it's
like
all wrong. They need to know
there's
what
a
the right thing is.
there's a take my ball and go home like aspect to what he did, where it includes like this other thing that he can't do a podcast. It sucks, and that's what people. That's what I was looking around on our website. That's what they're really mad at. I was like, okay, we're not going to have these takes of his anymore. I'm just like,
well, yeah.
What are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, and I understand that, and like I said, I'm actually. Like I'm not happy about it. Let's just.
It just feels like he had the option to just get along and produce a show.
Many times.
Like this was always on the table.
So, well, look, I'm just saying, like again, this is going to be. I don't want this to be interpreted as like some flaming of this guy, but people generally don't understand what this podcast that had been going on for 5 years and was very popular. Could just out of the blue do this. Well, on some level, that's because, and people are like, "Oh, it's all hidden behind the scenes." Well, like, yeah, like you don't always know what goes on at the inside of any organization, right? And then, but things are always going on. People are always being people and doing things and having these disagreements or whatever. And with an individual like him, it can never be just
an individual like him.
It always had to be a power play. It always had to be a thing, and so. Well, in the end, it was that essentially his attitude is, I get to do whatever I want. Fuck the rest of you. If you're not listening, you're like a subversive.
When you see somebody who's been on a show and been in a scene for years and years and years, and they make a departure, it's not like it just happened overnight. It's not like it was a split-second decision. There's always a chain of things that led up to it. It's not.
And sometimes people can do it in the right way, and they can like part friendly and such. And so my point is that this is sort of explaining the comment that he made about how like his vision of the NJP wasn't being fulfilled. I would say politically and ideologically, that's really not true, because there's not going to be any change in the political or ideological tone of any of this.
That's corporatist language once again. Where like I'm not saying what I mean. I'm using like an anodized.
Right. I mean, I'm sure if he were to go out and say what he really wants to say. He now probably will. Is that he will accuse us of undermining him, attacking him?
No, I want him to
shutting him out.
I want him to get back at what he's really great at. I don't want to undermine that at all. But we have to like.
That's what we wanted.
But we have to like. We have a thing we're doing
I got a free
too,
trial on the thing.
We don't want it to be that way.
So the thing is, he manages to take people that he works with and. Nah, we've said it already. Like, whatever.
Have you read Dune, though?
It is what it is. We've already been doing it for too long.
What would Terry Goodkind write about this?
Yeah, Terry Goodkind would probably have a character, have something to say to us about these kinds of situations, as would Frank Herbert.
Oh, man.
But again, I don't want to spiral on this, and I didn't even really want to say these things, but I do feel like I can't allow the narrative out there that like there's something deeply wrong with NJP, or the NJP is going in some kind of other ideological direction, or that there was some thing motivating us to go in another ideological directions. Like when I said in the corporate speak thing that there were personal disagreements that started to become impossible, that is literally true. And trying to
one of the bitter ironies of having an organization that's pretty professional and manages people well is you kind of keep that stuff tamped down and it's undercover until the very end when it blows up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, most organizations. Well, this is the other thing about like structure, the way organizations are structured.
This is Mike Enoch talking about the striker split.
Is that they are usually structured in such a way where, you don't know what the hell is going on in the upper levels. And, if they want you gone, they just say bye. And understandably, people feel like this is an alienating and weird way to operate. But on some level, I can see how such an organizational structure would have arisen. But again, I don't really need to go into any more detail about any of this. My only point here is that like, this is not because like of some political or ideological drift away from the core principles that we're doing. This was basically the internal workings of our group that we have built, and we put a lot of our lives and effort, money, resources, God knows how many hours of stress and pain and just uncertainty, precariousness, everything we've done to maintain this network, and then ultimately to do the NJP to try and do something out in the wider world as a way to organize white people to to actually fight the enemy. Actually fight the enemy, or at least hold out against the enemy. And that enemy is the Jewish Zionist empire that we are a part of. And I believe Stryker, when he says he does not want to stop fighting the enemy, I do believe fully in his heart he wants nothing more than to overthrow our enemy. I believe that completely. But the personality things were such that our group and the way it's operating could not continue with the constant kinds of disruptions that he was causing. And
that was going to be my last
that's basically it. And I know this is upsetting and distressing to people. And they love Stryker, they love his output, they love the podcast. And I understand all that, and it's terrible. I'm sorry, but this is where we are, and we're going to keep going. I'm going to still do a show Tuesday. For those of you that want your show on Tuesday, you're going to have your product on Tuesday. Probably for the rest of the year, I'm going to have.
It sounds so slimy when guests. I say it, but I can't help but do the irony bit of like, just get excited for next product. Like, I'm sorry, someone already like missed.
Yeah, we're going to have
next
product, but again, like it's going to be, and we'll talk about Dune. We'll talk about Whipping Star, and we'll talk about Hellstrom Hives.
I'm gonna read that again.
And we'll talk about all of that stuff. But we'll also talk about Hezbollah and things like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna have the show, and I'm gonna be doing it, probably different guests, and probably solidify permanent co-hosts by January.
So maybe it's just gonna be Tony this week.
You ever found yourself late starting a show due to managing particular interpersonal problems with Eric Stryker? Has that ever happened?
That's happened with everyone.
Yeah.
Actually,
that kind of thing is like whatever, we can do that. Like again, it's also not like there's not interpersonal problems with other people too. There
have been, but usually it doesn't turn into a pattern of behavior that goes on year after year after year until eventually you get it.
What needs to happen with people that are in these kind of organizations is that like you have to actually be able to communicate and trust people, and not assume that because someone has a different idea, or someone's carrying out even just their assigned tasks, that they are like an enemy or plotting against you or something like that. It's like, no. When you have people whose job is to plan an event or to edit articles on a website, they're not in like a plot against you. They're your support staff. And frankly, we're at the point where I am more grateful than anything for the support staff, the people that work to put together meetings and venues where I go and I speak to people, and I have hundreds of people there to listen. And that to me is like one of the most amazing things about this whole project is that this Tony has put together people that will do that. They can do that. And like, I'm told, hey, listen, we got a venue, we got food, we got drinks, we got vendors, we got tables, chairs, we got banners, we got all of it set up. You, Mike, you show up, you give the keynote address, hundreds of people are there cheering, and it's the best thing. And I can never imagine starting to view this as something that is there to undermine me, control me, hamper me. It's there to support us. It's there to make us bigger and stronger.
Yeah, it's people doing their jobs. I mean, and I can understand to a small degree why people might occasionally be a little bit rankled. Like when I go to an NJP event and they put me through like a security pat down, I'm almost rolling my eyeballs. Like, I don't have weapons. I never carry weapons.
Did they reach up your kilt?
But they have to do it. That's part of their job. It's part of the professional thing that they're doing. So you just got to go along with it.
Please lift your kilt, sir.
I get wanded.
Actually, hey, can we pause it?
I shouldn't reveal this. This is going to piss people off.
Oh no!
Yeah,
don't reveal.
I actually
pause it at 27:19. We need to pause for a second. It's only got like I don't know, 5-10 more minutes. And I know I was letting it go more. I usually talk a little bit more and pause a little bit more, but it's harder to do it with Dingo because he's moving around and stuff. So that's why I was letting it go a little bit more. Now go ahead.
I'm done with the peanuts.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, well go ahead then.
Peanuts is gone, man. Those things are so like. Sometimes you'll get a batch that's like way more salty than another batch you get, and like this was one of those salty ones. But you know me, I love them anyway, so I gotta finish the motherfuckers. But it's like I feel so full now. It's like I ate at a Chinese restaurant. You know what I mean? Like you're full for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But I don't know.
What is it? MSG and the sodium and all that. Yeah. All right, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I think Righty Tighty is probably listening. I was just wanted to update him on FAC real quick. Flying Avocado Cat. They're doing a Twitter space on a Twitter right now. They've got 100 people in the space. Like they've never gotten more than I think like 20, 25 people tops. By the way, they're only like 11 days old. The whole token. There's 100 people in this bitch. Righty Tighty, if you're still holding, which I hope you are, I think you are. Hold tight. Once these fucking token spaces reach 100 people or more, it's retarded how this, I know it's not a scientific metric, but in my experience, this is whenever they just boom. So just hold tight, big guy. Fucking 75 cents incoming.
Oh man, I saw it in single cents.
Dude, you can still. It's not too early, bro. I'm telling you, you need to hurry.
I'll look at it tonight. I can't do it on air, obviously, but
Yeah, true that.
I'll look at it tonight. I thought about it. Maybe just putting a little bit in just to see, right? All right. What were you gonna say? Oh, it was about the coin. That's what you're gonna say.
Oh yeah, I guess I should comment on the mic and them too. Well, yeah, okay. So, assuming that, assuming that what they're saying is true, then yeah, I guess it's just an unfortunate situation, and I do agree that Stryker is like the best at doing his the reporting he does. He's absolutely fantastic at it. Like, he's done a lot of big stories on.
I like his writing. Actually, we don't get along, but I actually like his writing. Yeah,
and he's done it a lot of times where he'll put together like statistics on things that don't have official government statistics. You know what I mean? Like percentages of overdoses who are white or whatever. Like there are statistics on that, but like he did way more in-depth digging into that. Did a really big report that went all over the fucking place. You had normal like boomer conservatives, posting it on Facebook and shit. Like he's great at that. And
some of his stuff's really penetrated. Yeah, I got admiration for that because I've done a little bit of writing myself, and he's really good. Like I said, we don't really like each other over the last few years, but yeah, he's really talented as a writer, and the way he lays out his articles, and he's clearly done the research too. So yeah, I think he's really good at that.
Yeah,
and some of those stories wouldn't have got coverage if he hadn't put in the time and the work. So yeah, I would agree with that.
So true. Just like I guess it all goes back to the point that I made before I even had, whenever I was saying there's a cunt here, we got to sniff them out before I knew anything about who it was. I remember making the point right then that like, but for me personally, I had to like learn my place, like I realized right then I can't do this. Like I would fuck this up in a heartbeat if I was the leader of something this big. Stryker and anybody else for that matter, they need to learn how to do what they're good at. And you don't have to be the guy that does everything, right? Like I hate democracy anyways. I don't like boards. I like it whenever there's one person in charge, and you just have to make sure the person is the right one. Because like if there's a problem, you replace that one person. Well, just like democracy, there's how many 438 or 468, whatever the fuck it is between the House and the Senate. Like you can't replace all those people.
535. Yeah,
535. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said that.
Oh, I didn't hear. I just misheard you. But yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
I was going to say, maybe I misheard, but yeah. It's 435 in the House and 100 in the Senate.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. But like you can't replace that. That monster literally has too many heads. So I'm all about like, you can call it what you want, but dictatorship, whatever. Like that's a benevolent king is the best form of government in my opinion. And it works that way in life everywhere. You get on a plane, guess what? If the pilot doesn't like your haircut, he can say, get that fucking guy off my plane. He has final say. Same thing on a ship. On a baseball team, there's a coach. You know what I mean? At a business, there's a CEO. The buck stops somewhere with one person. And I don't know why people think that we should organize government any differently. And NJP is the same thing. I think there should be a guy. And if you think that you need to be that guy, well, you better be better than the guy that's there. And if you're not, you got to go. So I can't disagree with that whatsoever. And he quit, by the way. They didn't fire him. He quit.
Yeah, that's my understanding too, especially after listening to this. Yeah, he quit. I mean, you have to have a leader of the party. And, some parties have different structures, but, DNC, they elect, and all that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, that's true. All right, 27-19. There's about 7 minutes left on this, and then we'll wrap this segment. I'll start getting ready for the top of the, well, not the top of this hour, the top of the next hour, for, Fuentes and Spencer, and I'll go over some of those particulars again too. But I'm at 27-19. There's about 6 or 7 minutes left on this clip, Dingo.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
All right, go ahead and hit it right now.
I've been allowed to keep my phone in my pocket at NJP events.
So you can dox everyone.
That's unprofessional.
Man, you know what? When we did Mania, I always made a point of like surrendering my phone too.
I'm going to personally check before it's falling next time.
But then like when I would show up at NJP events, they're like, no, you can keep yours, Mike. And I'm like, no, you can have it. I don't have to keep it. I'm not messaging anybody while we're in here, so who fucking cares? Like everyone I want to talk to is already here.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, the NJP has been It's been a bit of an adventure. It's been a lot. It's been something where it's like, okay, we had a bunch of very strong personalities. We put them together and we built this thing, and things happen with that.
Well, I mean, it's also important, I think, to remember that these kinds of dramas and organizations, I mean, any volunteer organization looks like this, usually they're even worse. I've been involved in volunteer organizations for over 10 years at this point.
Well, I've always said this about our community, because a lot of times people in this community, white nationalist community and stuff, they assume that we are like uniquely filled with mentally ill people.
No, I was just gonna say like no, it's.
And I'm like, I don't think that's true at all.
It's America.
Man.
It's like it's just
America's like there are
What's the
people walking
world?
around in America that have all kinds of weird, fucked up complexes and shit going on, but they're not doing anything high stakes.
It's like, what kind of gaslit are you? You know. The hell?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people have not had the experience of being in a committee, being in a meeting. And there's always that one guy, there's always that conflict entrepreneur who every time you try to have a meeting, he's going to create a problem. Everybody else dislikes him. Most people just kind of keep it under their hat. But there's always that guy.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of a conflict entrepreneur here with the Killstream.
The point here is not to like disparage. It's really to kind of explain to people why a thing that was like one of their favorite shows and something that they thought was very important to them, why this has gone away. And I can't just I can't just leave these people without a satisfactory explanation. Now, I'm sure the Striker's going to have his own explanation of this, and if you want to listen to that, go for it. But this is from my perspective and the perspective of the people in the NJP, where we are, and this is why we ultimately accepted his resignation about now 8 days ago, so 8 or 9 days ago, and we did try to do Strike and Mike again after he had resigned, and we did the show, and then that also was going to be a problem, because if NJP is one of my projects, and I'm, we're not always going to be talking about boosting NJP on these shows, but we are going to be talking about it now. What kind of position does that put him in if he doesn't really want to do that anymore? So that just became untenable. So there it is. Now we can actually talk about Dune.
I had a different piece of writing in front of you, but we can talk about Dune if you want. I have Barry Weiss content. I have Barry Weiss content.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I almost feel like pausing because this is so exhausting. But
we can pause. We can take a break and just do 2 hours after this if you want.
Oh,
it is exhausting. Awful. And look, I got it. Everyone, look, people. I don't know how well people know me or what kind of parasocial relationship you have, but I hate this kind of stuff.
No, it doesn't.
I hate it. I
going
want
along
to
doing
do
a thing.
The shows. I want to do the protests, the activism, the speeches. I want to do the NJP. I want to do the shows. I want to put the content out. I want to put the ideas out. I want to get people on board with what we're doing. And it can't only be for my own like personal sense of control and power over a situation. It has to be. Everyone has to sacrifice part of their own ego to the larger thing. I know how that sounds, very grandiose, right? Which is another thing I really hate. But it's true. It's true that we all have to be willing to basically say, okay, this is a collective operation, a collective organization, and I am now willing to subsume my own personal ambitions and desires to that. And there are times when I have a thing where I see people in the thing that are not happy with what I've done, or not happy with something I've said, and they come at me, and my instinct is like, "Hey,
that's why I get along with Sven better."
I have that instinct, right? Everybody, I know Jesse has that instinct.
My instinct is usually like, "What are you trying to get me to say?"
But you can't, you have to also then look at it and be like, "Okay, that's also a person. That person also has ideas and thoughts about how things should be." And don't get me wrong, there are bad actors. There are, and I've become pretty adept at sniffing them out and seeing them for what they are, and deeply concerned people of like addressing demanders, like concern addressing enjoyers and things like that. That's out there.
Concern
and so everyone has that.
That's pretty good.
But
too.
it's like we also have to understand in a group, there is a
concern
larger
addressing
goal, and
enjoyers.
you have to sit back. I'm willing to say, hey, what I want to do here will actually really fuck up the larger goal, and I have to just let that go or not get in my way this time.
Right. I mean,
so
I don't know.
Even being the chairman, that has to happen. So
Eric Stryker was a popular podcaster. People liked his content. It seems that every avenue was exhausted to try to prevent this outcome. It's not like anybody just wanted to take him out or something.
Every outcome to the point where people were getting angry at me
for not. Yes.
So, yes.
Literally bent over backwards to try to stop this from eventually happening, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want your hard politics show, you're gonna still get it. And yeah. So if you want a show where I don't get constantly interrupted,
I was gonna say, like, as I do it to you, like a show where guys don't try to finish each other's sentences. That'll be the new twist.
I don't know if anybody could deal with a show like that out of this network, though. It's so off script. It's so off brand.
It's messed up my ability to have real life conversations. I'll tell you that.
Well, in real life conversations, I just talk over and interrupt people also. So
I know that's what I find myself doing. I hate it.
There we go. There's that part. There's like a 2-minute clip later on, but I guess it's only 2 minutes. I might as well clean it up. Fuck it. Go to 38:30. Dingo, it's literally 2 minutes on the dot how long the next part is. I guess I might as well be a completionist. All right, 38. Wait. 38:40. Or 38:30, excuse me. 38:30.
It's only letting me click on like 37:30.
I fucking hate the Telegram player. It's so shit.
You and me both, big guy.
God, it sucks so bad. Why is it so bad? It's so hard to control where you want the fucking audio to play at. Like, it's impossible to drag where you want it to drag. It's worse than any I've ever seen in my life, and that's saying a lot. At least it does play, though. I guess, okay. That's the one caveat. Go ahead, North.
General North 3434 sent $8 on Rumble. Any chance of showing the boys, Ralph?
The boys? I can't show that on screen. But I can play the song. I can't show that on screen, no. Because
the show The Boys?
No, he means the boys from back in the day, if that makes sense, Dingo. Those boys. I think you're familiar with them as well. Those boys over in Europe back in the day. Maybe if somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying.
I've seen them a time or two.
Yeah, but what I can do is play the music, and it's like 3 minutes. Then I'll play the 2-minute clip, and then we'll start getting ready for 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll sign up for my free trial so we can listen. I assume somebody on Cozy will probably be streaming it too, so I don't think it's that big of a faux pas. Maybe if I get a nasty DM. I guess Richard left me for dead after this last scandal, so I haven't heard back from him. I'd messaged him on something. He does that periodically, though. Or it's like, I'll see if Ralph will come back from this one. Well, I always come back, Richard. So, maybe that was it. Maybe he'll DM me now. I was a while back. He might have just not seen it, by the way. I'm just joking. All right, go ahead. Well, I'll hit this right now, and then I'll play the 2 minutes. Thank you, North.
Is that Erica playing?
Yes. I can't actually show it, though. I mean, it's not like graphic. It's a pretty good edit, actually. If I was just on Rumble, I would, but they get prickly about that on Kick. Get up! Get up! I've had these glasses on too long. What the fuck? wonder if that harms your eyesight to wear sunglasses for like 10 hours a day. Dingo's falling out. It's about to be wrapped, I think. Yeah, it's only got a few seconds. I was gonna say, I thought that was the end. Okay. Thank you, North. I appreciate that, brother. I'm sorry I couldn't pull it up. Kick. No problem with that. But oh, okay. So I'll play these 2 minutes. You can just listen to them on the stream, maybe, Dingo. It's only 2 minutes, and I'm only doing it because it's like, okay, this is the final 2 minutes, and I almost skipped it. But okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and let me unmute that, and I'll go ahead and play it right now.
Going to have to live with the curiosity because I don't really see what it would be helpful to say more at this point.
Well, I don't think there's like any value to just keep basically amounting to what just becomes gossip. But you have
I'm watching your facial
not,
reactions
I don't
when
want
you're
to put
talking on here. It's so
specifics, but I
funny.
don't want to be accused of gossiping. But the fact is that if Stryker is going to put out his side of things and say that my vision wasn't achieved, I have the right to say, well, here's my side of things. And so that's where that's all, and this is where it's.
I would say it doesn't
to
even
end.
come into like his. I don't care about his side of things. I'm being asked by people.
Yes.
That pay out and that I care about. That care about us. Like I can totally answer those questions, or you can, because you're in the better position to. Right. I don't really.
Right, and I don't. There's going to be people who will be like, "Give me who's he doing?" And I'm like, no, that doesn't really matter. Like, just this, yeah. So
anyway,
yeah,
the free press for free people.
Is this the Detroit Free Press?
Oh, I thought this was Barry Weiss.
Oh, is it? All right, because I know that the Detroit
it's Ilya Shapiro
newspaper.
Oh wait, I thought it was.
Hold on, let me dig back into my email. Why was Barry Weiss's name invoked in this article? I thought I was reading a Barry Weiss article, and now I'm reading some just like off-brand Jewish Yenta bullshit.
I just can't care about Barry Weiss, to be honest. I know who she is, obviously, but final thoughts on all this, Dingo?
Sorry about that.
It's almost like you worked all day.
Final thoughts on it. I mean, I got no reason so far not to believe what they're saying, and based on the couple of things that I talked about earlier, other people's experiences with Stryker, because I don't have any bad ones or any at all other than the show we did together that one time. I mean, I gonna have to just say, well, sorry, bye.
Well, I thought that was a good play for them to come out and talk about it, because I don't think the silence is going to. And I don't know how much it'll. Probably should have done that right away, but yeah, I do think that was. What's up, PERSPIC? I do think that that was a good play, and they seem pretty reasonable what they said, and I don't really have any reason to disbelieve it because of my knowledge of Stryker's personality, but. It's still bad for them overall, I'll say, because they lost their top podcast, obviously.
Well, fuck that. Like, I hate the fact that, like, there's probably going to be a diminished exposure to Stryker's, like, reporting and articles and things like that. Like, I don't know whether it's going to be because he's going to do them less or because he's, they're not going to, I don't know, because maybe they won't want to post them or something. But, like, the combination of NJP, TRS, the podcasting platform, and Stryker's reporting, I think was a fucking fantastic 3-part combo. And I'm really kind of just disgruntled, I guess, a little aggravated that one of those parts is going to be not together. It sucks.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, even not getting along with Stryker, he writes good stuff. I said that I wanted to be honest about that. I even said that I was talking to Chief of Staff last night. And I was like, he mentioned that he likes Stryker's writing, and I was in the middle of saying talking about the beef and all that, and I was like, oh yeah, his writing's great. Like, I'll say that. So we'll see what happens from here.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is the CACA Welfare. Remember to like and subscribe.